Good evening. Welcome. I'm Savva Talk Spurs. This is Henry Wright TV. Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. It's good to be back another week to not talk about Spurs.
Do you know what? I was just thinking to myself, I did WhatsApp you this as well. I actually find this a really refreshing break from talking about Tottenham Hotspur and being told how bloody negative I am because I don't think we're winning all four. So it's actually really nice. Henry, that is a lovely, lovely kit. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, so this is the brand new Bayern Munich away kit. Got it on Saturday. I had it on order. So before I was going to wear it earlier on our stream, but then I didn't want anyone coming on saying, "Oh yeah, you're not a Spurs fan." Well, this is a European show. And this is one of the biggest teams in Europe. So, yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, for anyone that hasn't been in the show before, welcome. So this is a show where Henry and I get a chance to discuss football across the Premier League, across Europe and across the world. Today, we'll start by looking at some of the transfers, Henry, from the last week across Europe. We'll then move on to talk about Barcelona and Madrid. What's going on with Barcelona? They were bankrupt. Now they're not. They're buying everybody. What's that going to do for the La Liga race? And then we're going to have a look at the Italian league. And is the Italian league back? It's been growing, but how much? We'll talk about that. And then we will look at whether or not anybody anytime soon will break the monopoly of PSG and Bayern Munich in their respective leagues. So let's crack on. Henry, let's talk about transfers. One that is very close to getting over the line. Dwight McNeil to Everton. Talk to me, Henry. If you're an Everton fan right now, are you thinking, yeah, that's good business? Or are you thinking, wow, that's really, really underwhelming and we are in massive trouble this year?
Do you know what? When we started this show two weeks ago, or nearly 3 weeks ago now, I said that I thought Everton would go down. Not really a fan of Frank Lampard as a manager, and if I was an Everton fan, I'd be fuming at this signing. You know, they've spent something like 300 million in the last 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah,
they've signed players like James Rodriguez, Doucouré, Allen, and they really thought they were on the right path. At one point, when they had Ancelotti, they thought they were going to win the league at one point, and now, you know, they just about escaped relegation. They've sold their best player to us, to Spurs. And they've signed McNeil. I mean, I wouldn't expect a team like Everton to be making that sign. I'd expect a team like Fulham or Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth. You know, a team that's just come up and won a Premier League experienced player. I listen, he barely... No, he's like an old school 4-4-2 left midfielder. Run down the wing, put the ball into the box. He doesn't really take a lot of players on. He's not. He hasn't got any flair to his game. I wouldn't be excited if I was an Everton fan by this.
He's like an up and down old school winger, right? That he'll get to the byline, he'll put some crosses in, but you know, I mean, look, you'd be disappointed if you bought him and you were a top half team, right? You'd be disappointed.
We're not even a top half team. You know, Everton have one of the only teams to stay in the Premier League ever. They've got a long history. You know, they deserve to get better players than the likes of Dwight McNeil. No disrespect to Dwight McNeil. He might go there and set the world alight.
Yeah, of course.
But the recruitment they've done in recent years, they're talking about getting Harry Winks. They signed Dele Alli. It's not great, is it?
It's underwhelming, right? And then even on top of that, when you look that the manager's underwhelming as well, right? So it's not just that they're getting underwhelming players. I think last summer they got in, I want to say Damari Gray was like 1.5 million or something.
Yeah.
And just Townsend on a free. It's not great. You kind of almost expect them to get like Dwight Gale next or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't bode well.
They had Ancelotti. He went to Real Madrid and he's just won the Champions League. So to go from Ancelotti to Frank Lampard is like going from a flipping Rolls Royce to a Rover.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be so disappointed right now. I've actually got a few Everton fans, the YouTube, and they're absolutely gutted of it. So I spoke to one of them earlier. He said, like, we're going down this year. Unless Calvert-Lewin can pull a rabbit out of the hat, kind of like how Richarlison did, and kind of just get them over the line, To be honest, I can't see them. I can't see them doing well this year. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no. Listen, I can't either. Look, let's move on. I think we know about Dwight McNeil. Just quickly, staying with Everton, they've just signed Ruben Vinagre on loan from Sporting Lisbon. Of course, he had a bit of a spell at Wolves. Again, I'm guessing he's going in there to be their, I would say left back, but I'm pretty sure, didn't they just sign the Ukrainian left back to in January? So I'm not sure what's going on there, but what do you make of that as a loan signing? Another one in the same mould as McNeil?
It's just another underwhelming average player, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if I was Everton, I'd be looking at players around, West Ham, Villa, Leicester, those sort of teams, and trying to snap a few of them. There's going to be players that are going to be out of favour from all of those clubs. Not even that. Everton are a big club. Just Wolves, I will unblock you. I'm not 100% sure who's banned you out of my mods. I need to shuffle that around, but I will unblock you. I'll do it in a couple of minutes. And it'd be good to get you back on. But yeah, if I was an Everton fan, I wouldn't be very happy. I mean, it's just not exciting, is it? I mean, I thought I was underwhelmed getting Richarlison. I can't even imagine what an Everton fan must feel like.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, look, let's Everton. I think we can all admit they're in for a tough season. They didn't have too many top players to lose. They lost Richarlison to Spurs. Let's move on to. We're not going to go too deep into this next one purely because we're going to do a lot about Barcelona later. But Barcelona have continued their summer spending spree. Christensen's through the door, Kessie's through the door, Rafinha's through the door, Lewandowski's through the door, and now today, I believe we've had the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, which seems to be the thing in football now. If it's not there, it's not a deal. They've gone and got Jules Koundé, the second player in as many weeks, I think, that they've taken from Chelsea. Jules Koundé, good signing for Barcelona or average? What do you reckon?
Good signing for Barcelona, in my opinion. La Liga proven, obviously, coming out of Sevilla. French international now, experienced. You look at there now and you think, okay, we've got, I always forget the Uruguayan's name.
Araujo.
You've got Araujo, you've got Piqué, you've got Koundé. They're going to get rid of Titi. Okay, Lenglet's gone, but it's not a bad bunch of players, is it? What Barcelona? I mean, we'll talk about Barcelona in a bit more detail, but we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about will they overtake Madrid, and I don't know now. It's getting a couple more signings. I mean, it's going to get close.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, when you look at it, Koundé is one of those. Look, he seems like his reputation within the football industry seems to be better than his reputation with fans. So when you speak to a lot of fans, they'll tell you, "Oh, he's too small, too many mistakes," but he seems to have been coveted by some massive clubs. So there's got to be something there, right? Something in his game that teams are looking at and going, "Yeah, we want that man." Well,
for instance, Chelsea and Spurs both wanted him last year. Normally, when Chelsea go after a player, they're not a terrible footballer. And then he comes back into, to Barcelona now. Xavi's building a new ethos at Barcelona. He's gone from playing with youngsters last year to playing with superstars like Lewandowski, Rafinha, Kessie. I mean, it's if you're a Barcelona fan, it's an exciting times. But I just feel with Barcelona at the moment, everything Chelsea do, Barcelona are just snapping it up. And where are they getting this money from? I'm sure we'll discuss it later, but yeah, there's a little bit suspect at the moment what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, from what I've heard, so I don't have any inside sources or anything, but from what I've read, Chelsea actually bid more in cash up front. But the way Barcelona structured the deal, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but the way they structured it, and I think the deal was pretty much, the mind was made up by the player who wanted to stay in Spain and go to Barcelona. And let's be honest, I mean, living in Barcelona, playing with some of those players, it can't be bad, can it? It sounds like a bit of a dream.
Do you know what? It's becoming quite a popular thing where other teams will offer more money, but they'll just decide their heart. So, for instance, West Ham offered Calvin Phillips a much bigger contract than Man City did. But obviously, going to Man City, he's going to win trophies. The likelihood, I would argue, he's got more chance of winning trophies at Barcelona, Koundé, than he probably has at Chelsea, because of you've got two juggernauts like Man City and Liverpool, and in Spain, okay, Atletico aren't what they used to be now. So your main threat to a trophy is either Villarreal's Unai Emery.
You're Unai. We all know. I'll tell you what, if you could have a threesome with two people, it would be Unai Emery and Jared Bowen, wouldn't it? You'd be right in the middle.
I think Jared Bowen's an exceptional footballer, and I think because he's in the Conference League again. Villarreal are going to be in the Conference League, so my money's on them to win it.
Listen, they know he knows how to win things. Villarreal know how to win things. Seville know how to win things. Just quickly, Wayne Holland, big up to yourself. Always enjoy talking to you on WhatsApp as well. You're not being dense. Henry and I are going to talk about Barcelona a little bit later when we've been through transfers. Henry, let's move on then from Koundé. West Ham, who appear to be shopping quite well this summer. Scamacca. It came out today that apparently Inter Milan wanted him, AC Milan wanted him, Borussia Dortmund, a couple of unknown Champions League teams on top of that, but he's gone to West Ham. How much of a coup for them is that? And is this the missing ingredient? Because with all due respect to Antonio, he is a right back that's kind of being pushed to right wing, pushed to up front.
Do you know what? I'm going to go on a limb here. I think if you was to measure what West Ham have done as a business, as a club, when you look at pound for pound the players they're signing, they're up there for like the contender for the window. They might not have gone out there and gone 8 or 9 signings, but they've signed Scamacca from Sassuolo. They're on the verge of signing Kostic. Yeah, they've put big bids in for the likes of Calvin Phillips and who was the other player they bid for? They put big money on the table for Jesse Lingard. If they keep this up, West Ham are going to have a really good season. I think,
and I don't think have they made any money back from anyone. I can't think off the top of my head. Has there been anyone going out?
And they signed Areola for 10 million as well on a permanent.
Right.
So you look three signings that are going to improve their 11 tenfold. Scamacca is, a bit of a goal scoring machine for Sassuolo last year. They've had a right back up front for the last few years who has done very well.
Yeah.
Considering if you put Emerson Royale up front for Tottenham, we'd be lucky if we got 3 goals a season, right? So he's done well. I think now West Ham are at a turning point because they've got a player like Declan Rice in their ranks. Right. Now, Declan Rice is very similar to what Harry Kane is to Tottenham, what Saka is to Arsenal, what Salah is to Liverpool. He's there, he's a franchise player, but they're in a transitional period where they've got to kick on and carry on at the level they are. Otherwise, Declan's going to want to leave. So I think what they're doing is right. I think going out there and signing players like that have got, kind of a European pedigree, like Kostic, who's just won the Europa League, who, by the way, beat West Ham in that semi-final. I'd be happy if I was a West Ham fan looking at this.
Listen, I'll be honest. Some of the signings they're making, Kostic, I would take all day long. It's the same agent as Scamacca as well. So, it's not like they're starting fresh negotiations. It's all been going on. Scamacca, I would have taken, just me personally, I'm not going to get into a debate. I would have taken Scamacca over Richarlison.
Me too.
And also, we'll just touch on this now. This isn't a done deal, but apparently, which is the huge word for all transfer windows, right? Apparently, they're also in talks with Zielinski, the Polish playmaker from Napoli. Now,
it's an absolute steal if they get him.
Right. So if they get Kostic on the left, Scamacca up front, Zielinski, they've already got Rice and Souček, Lanzini, Fornals. They've got that new, I can never remember his name. The other centre half they've got to go at the back with Ogbonna, with
the new guy. He's already injured though, isn't he? He's already injured. He's only been there like 2 minutes.
But mate, this is a team that are going for it, right? It's not like they've had anyone sold where you go, oh, that's where they're getting 100 odd million from.
Are they showing more ambition than Spurs?
Look, it's all relative, right? It's all relative. For me, they are purely because they're in the Conference League. It's not like they're buying these players and they haven't even got Europa League to offer, Henry. Then look, again, this is on this show, Spurs hats are off, right?
So why would a player like Kostic leave a Champions League side like Frankfurt to go and play in the Conference League? It's got to be cash, isn't it?
It's got to be cash. Look, again, what you got to remember as well, this guy is 29, right? So this is going to be his last move. Chance to play in the Premier League, chance to play in London. People want to live in London. Mate, I've said it before. I think a number of top, better teams will kick themselves for not going to get Kostic if West Ham get him. Let's move on from that. Bournemouth today, I saw have done a deal. Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough. Now, what I was going to say was, can Bournemouth start with signings like that? And then I remembered that we've just bought a right wing back from Middlesbrough. So, Marcus Tavernier. I mean, if you're a Bournemouth fan, is this the level? Is this going to help you maintain Premiership status?
Not for me. Good. He's an okay player, but if I was Bournemouth, same again. I'd be looking at snapping up players, taking a few loan deals from clubs that are already at like a Premier League pedigree, like your Leicesters, your Villas, unwanted players at West Ham. They're gonna perform. Jesse Lingard was an unwanted player at Man United. You put him in a West Ham team, and he thrived. I think Bournemouth are going to struggle. Out of the 3 promoted clubs, I actually do fancy Nottingham Forest to do the best. They've signed some good players, and they look like they're going to kick on. Whereas Bournemouth, I mean, it's a bit,
it's a tough one, isn't it? You can see them going back down. You can see them giving a good fight. I can see them being well organised under Parker, but realistically, I just can't see they're doing enough. As opposed to Forest, I think Forest are buying everyone. Fair play to them. They're giving it a good old go. I know they had a lot of players on loan last year that they've had to send back, but they're giving it a good go, right? Lingard, I saw today that they're after William Carvalho of Portugal.
Yeah.
They've signed the striker from Germany. They've signed
William Carvalho, the midfielder.
Yeah.
No. Well, that'll be. They've made 11 signings.
They've made 11 signings. They've spent more than Spurs. Yeah.
Why not? Anyway, look, the first time in the Premier League for about 20 odd years. So why not?
And all you would say is fair play to the owner, because lots of times teams come up like a Norwich and they'll spend 40 million. They'll buy lots of players from leagues where you go, oh, what's this going to do? At least if Forest are giving it a go, at least if they go back down, he can say, you know what? Look, I gave the manager, 120, 150 million pounds worth of players. Is it too much to gel into one? We'll see. But they also got who's the lad from the fullback from Liverpool? They signed
Williams.
Yeah, Nico Williams. So that'll be interesting. West Ham did bid for Brozier as well. Matthew Emerson reminding us.
They're showing them. If you put Brozier, Samaka, Kostic, Areola,
and they bought Flynn Downs.
Flynn Downs as well. That's like 4 or 5 good signings. Yeah,
absolutely. Anyone talking about Barcelona, we are going to move on to them in a bit, so please don't worry. Is it okay to be a mod again, please? Yeah, I'll set you up shortly. Henry, let's move on to the next player. The next one is, now I like this player. I've seen him play a few times internationally, and I'm a big fan. Fulham have bought Babu from Wolfsburg.
The Swiss right back.
Yeah, now I don't mind him as a fullback. He's quite exciting. How good he is defensively, I don't know. But when I've seen him, he looks decent, and it looks to be a decent signing for them. What do you make of it?
Well, there's one thing. He's got pace to burn for he can go up and down for a wing back or a fullback pretty much for the whole 90 minutes, up and down. But defensively, I'd be worried. He reminds me a lot of Serge Aurier, just without pace. Going forward, good player. Aurier used to put some great crosses into the box. Defensively, though, he's a bit suspect, but it depends. Is it an upgrade on what they've probably already got? Probably.
Yeah.
So what's the harm? It's not a massive transfer fee. It's kind of like a bit of it's a risk-free transfer. He could come, set the world alight. If he doesn't, he'll stay there for a couple of years and probably go back to Germany.
Just quickly, before I ask this question, there are 93 of you in the chat and only 33 likes. That is very, very stingy, is the word I'm going to use. Please smash that like button. As always, any super chats or super stickers, 50% does go to charity. So please, if you like charity, whatever you can, would be grateful. But please smash that like button and subscribe to myself and subscribe to Henry Wright. And if you want to see me and Henry in the flesh, we are going to be there for the first day of the season. Come and say hello. We'll be in the number 8 pub. Probably shouldn't publicise that. Anyone who hates me might be there. Henry, just quickly before we look at the last couple of transfers, Foggy Foam has said, Savva, how much are the new teams getting for coming up? Or is it the owners pocketing money instead of backing the manager? I mean, tough one to answer, right? Because I think you get a lot of money in installments, is my understanding. Then there's parachute payments. But I suppose what those chairmen have to do, Henry, is weigh up realistically, how much can I give and how much do I have to hold back to safeguard the future of the club?
So they'll put like a plan where if they do go back down, there'll be like a reserve payment, I think it's called. So it's like you put money, something when people put money away for a rainy day. So like if they think, okay, if shit really does hit the fan, we've got this laid away. But fair play to Nottingham Forest. You know, they've come up, they've won the biggest match in they called it the richest, what is it, the richest prize in the game or something? That
the richest game in football. Yeah.
They won it. And he's put, I think you get 100 million for that. And he's put well over 100 million into the club. And he's probably going to have, he might be going all hands in the kitchen sink and thinking, okay, we're not going to go down. We're not going to have that mindset.
Yeah.
You know? I wouldn't bet on them to go down at the moment as it stands.
Absolutely. Last 3 signings before we go on to a few possible signings. Kim Min-jae has gone to Napoli. Lots of talk about this guy for the last 2-3 years. Just come from Turkish football. He's replacing Koulibaly, big arse.
Was it Fenerbahce he come from?
I believe so. I
think with a few London clubs. He was with Tottenham for a few years. Big, strong, powerful, quick centre half. Not your traditional Asian centre back. They're normally quick, nimble players.
Yeah.
He's apparently a bit of a beast, from what the scouting reports say. You know, he's played in Turkey, not a great league. The Super League, you got Besiktas, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Trabzonspor, but it's a bit going into a league like the Italian league, Serie A now. You got the big dogs, Juventus, and obviously got Roma making crazy signings, Napoli, Juventus, both the Milans, Lazio, Fiorentina. It's a much more competitive league. So let's just see how he does.
Yeah, and we'll come on to that a bit later. I never know how to say this guy's name. Mukiel has joined PSG from RB Leipzig. They've got Hakimi. They've gone for Mukiel as well. Do you read anything into that? Do you read that Hakimi's going to leave, or is this purely just we want him, we get him?
Basically, yeah, that's what I think it is. I don't think if Hakimi is going to go, I genuinely think you're looking north of £70 million. Yeah. PSG, there's no need for him to leave. He's getting Champions League football every single year. He's pretty much going to win a silver trophy every single year because that league is so monopolized by PSG. So, call him Seamus, call him whatever you want, but he's winning trophies and getting paid an absolute bomb. I'd love to see him in the Premier League because I think, you got Cancelo, you got Walker, you got Trent, Reece James. Then like the next player that everyone talks about is Hakimi. So he was when he was at Inter Milan, he was frighteningly good. So I'd love to see him come out of France, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think if he will go to one team, I think it would be Real Madrid or Barca.
Okay. Just quickly, we're gonna look at 5 players that are on the verge of going or rumoured to be going. While we do that, let me ask you guys in the chat. There's exactly 104 of you in this chat. Please hit the like button. Tell us who has been your signing of the window? Try not to pick a Spurs player. It's boring. We talk Spurs all the time. Who has been your signing? Doesn't have to be a Haaland or anything like that. Who are the signings you're looking forward to seeing for other clubs? Let us know so we can.
This is an easy answer. If I was looking at it logistically, I'd say the signing of the window at the moment has been Christian Eriksen.
Free transfer, Man United.
Proven that much quality.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at £50 million for a player like that joining Manchester United. I think Dybala you could argue, but I just feel like Eriksen with his Premier League experience, his European experience playing in the Champions League and the Europa League, I think that's an absolute steal for United.
Yeah, I do. What? Tell us in the chat. What do you think? Let's look at. I've got 5 players here that are either on the verge or there's talks or whatever it may be. Let's start with an agreement in principle. Bernd Leno, agreement in principle going down to Fulham from Arsenal. Lost his place in the team to Ramsdale. Ramsdale had, depending who you speak to, let's not get into that, but a good season. Some people can't stand him. Bless me, and apologies. Some people, thank you. Some people can't stand him. Either way, Leno now has been frozen out. They've got Matt Turner from the US. Good signing for Fulham.
I feel quite sorry for Leno. I don't think Ramsdale is this exceptional goalkeeper that everyone thinks he is.
Yeah.
You know, I think Arsenal have made some terrible mistakes with their goalkeepers. They got rid of Martinez. You know, he pretty much won them the FA Cup on his own, basically. Him and Aubameyang won Arsenal the FA Cup. They then get rid of him. They bring in a goalkeeper that's been relegated 3 or 4 times. He made error after error after error in an Arsenal shirt. And they've brought that Leno, okay, he made a few hiccups, but selling him to Fulham, and they've brought in this American kid. I think it's just a bit harsh. I mean, for Leno, great, you get first team football again, but you've got to feel a little bit sorry for him, surely.
Yeah. Just quickly, some of the names we're seeing. It's got to be that Norwegian fella. By the way, please make sure you subscribe to Henry Wright TV and to Savva&Wright Spurs. I'm on the trail for 1,500. I am 22 away. So if anyone hasn't, please smash that subscribe button and put your hand up in the chat and let me know when you have so I can say thank you. So we've got that Norwegian fella. I guess they're talking about Stefan Everson. You've got Nathan. Yeah, Nathan Collins to Wolves was a good signing. Eriksen scored today from a free kick. Well, we know these things can happen. We've got Kalidou. We've got Sterling at 45 million. Freddie's come in with Rudiger on a free.
I forgot about Rudiger.
We're going to talk about him in the Spanish section. Section. Now I can't stop saying it without thinking. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Bremer was a very good signing. Joe Aribo down to Southampton from Rangers. Not a bad player. Be interesting to see what he does. Ryan's got him with Darwin Núñez at 85 million. Let's see. I think this is going to be one of those ones that's either a complete flop or a massive success. I don't think there's going to be a middle ground.
I don't think it's looking good for him at the moment, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen a lot of. I know obviously people want to get traction on their tweets and stuff. So they put on all the misses, but there is a lot of hiccups. Liverpool lost again today. I know they won 5-0 against, was it RB Leipzig?
Yeah,
a couple of days ago. But yeah, I'm not convinced by this guy. Yeah, he could easily turn it away.
It's one of those. It's one of those. I think, like any new striker joining a club, hit the ground running, confidence flows. If you get to the stage where you're 5, 6, 7 games without your first goal, starts playing on your mind. So look, let's see with that one. Scott M, hello to you over there in Canada, said Haaland's the easy answer. Koulibaly for Chelsea. Eriksen is okay-ish signing. But I mean, Eriksen was free. For me, I think Eriksen's got to be up there as the steal of the summer. When you think how good he is.
Eriksen or Rudiger, yeah.
How? Let's have a look. So here's a new one that's gathered pace in the last 24 hours. Gigi Wijnaldum is in talks with Jose Mourinho at Roma.
That would surprise me one bit.
Well, this is what Romano said. He's in talks. All parties are talking. Now they've already got players there like Pellegrini. They've got Veretout. They've got Cristante. They've got a nice little section.
Do you think Roma are going for a title charge?
I'm not going to tell you right now because we've got an Italian section. We've got an Italian section. They've got
Dybala as well.
They bought Dybala. Yeah, listen, we'll talk about them. Stop getting ahead of yourself, Mr. Henry. Right? We'll talk about them. But look, on standalone, Wijnaldum is a no-brainer of a signing, right?
Yeah.
Experienced.
So I'd absolutely love him at Spurs. He hasn't worked it out for him at PSG, but he's still a very, very, very good central midfielder.
Does it work out for many at PSG? Really?
Look at Messi. He hasn't set the world alight there, is he?
Yeah. When I watch Messi play, we won't go too deep into this, but when I watch Messi play, it just doesn't look like he's enjoying his football. Whenever I saw him playing for Barcelona, it was almost like it was his game. Now it just looks like, oh God, what's going on here?
He's not the star of the show anymore. Because when he was at Barca, even towards the end of his Barca career, it all went through him. He's kind of like, it's all about Mbappé there. Mbappe's a sporting director.
I mean, look, he's still got a bucket load of assists. Look, let's see. I think one day he'll go back to Barca or the US or whatever. But look, for me, I've seen everything I need to see from Lionel Messi in the last 16, 17 years. This for me is not Messi. This is Moneyball. Let's have a look. Someone said, laugh out loud, Savva. I mean, that could be anything that I've said. Hello to UNS Sports. Fofana signing a 5-year contract for us. Thank God. I mean, look, that was the next guy on my list. So great timing, Wayne Holland. Henry, lots of reports today. I mean, look, what it looks like is Chelsea are going to anybody with a top centre half and going, can we have them? They've missed out on a few. Fofana is the next name on the list. Wayne, has he signed a contract or is that paper talk? But if you were Chelsea, you'd do anything to get this young lad, wouldn't you, Henry?
Yeah, he had quite a big injury last year. Was it his anti-cruciate ligament he did? But he's top player. If I'd Leicester, I'd get that deal wrapped up ASAP.
Yeah.
Because if Chelsea come knocking, it doesn't matter how good the player is, he'll listen and they'll be able to pay more than what Leicester are probably going to put down. But, I feel like there's centre-backs in Spain in this league that Chelsea could get. There's probably, I think Fofana needs another year. And then, or would you take him right now?
Sorry, for Fofana, right? Listen, if we've got my Spurs hat back on, I look at players like Davis and Dyer, and I'm putting Fofana immediately.
No, but if you're a Chelsea and you want to go back to challenging titles, I think maybe give him one more year.
I just feel if we're talking from a Chelsea perspective, if you turn around and said, right, Fofana at that age is going to be playing alongside the experience of Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, that would be a really scary back three for me. It would have everything: pace, power, experience. Thiago Silva reads the game better than most. Koulibaly is a beast of a man, isn't he? He looks like a bouncer. He's just massive. And Fofana's got that athleticism and a really good player. But let's hope Chelsea don't get him. But if they do, I think that's a great signing for them. The last two players before we go and speak about the Spanish league. Keep getting the players in that you think have been good. By the way, full ball, I am definitely not looking forward to seeing Erling Haaland play against Eric Dyer. No, I am not. He scares the bejesus out of me, that man. And I'm like, I could be his dad. I'm old enough to be his dad. That's worrying.
And he's an absolute monster. Did you see he scored his debut against Bayern Munich and all teams?
It was like 12 minutes in. 12 minutes in, it just doesn't mess about. I'll tell you who's looked good in pre-season, but whisper it because people don't want to. Jack Grealish. is looking sharp.
Did you
Anyway,
see what he said to Grealish after the game? So walking
No,
down
go
the tunnel, and Grealish went, "Nice goal," and Haaland turned around and said, "That's what I'm here for." Like the confidence in this guy is just.
Oh, mate, don't absolutely. Last two on the list, we've got Timo Werner. It looks like it's between him, Morata, and Martial, according to Romano. One of those going to Juve to play up front alongside Dusan Vlahovic.
There's someone else going there as well. Oh, it's Bobby Firmino's going there, isn't he, as well?
Apparently Morata is Allegri's first choice. He really likes him. I
don't get it. They've just released Aaron Ramsey as well, haven't they? Would you take Aaron Ramsey as a free at first?
No, not now. A couple of years ago, maybe. No. We're a Champions League team now. No. Moving on. The only thing I would say about a Morata and a Werner and a Martial, none of them are prolific.
Yeah.
But I think what Allegri, I was speaking to a mate of mine the other day who follows Juventus. He said what Allegri likes is Vlahovic is your man. Yeah. He's your target man. He wants someone that runs and does all the work off him, like a kind of unsung hero. For me, Werner would be absolutely perfect for that mold. Selfless running, get you 8 to 10 maybe a season, but Vlahovic will be your guy. What are you laughing at?
Just so free the right side said in the chat, because I said about Ramsey, he said, "Behave, are you on the sniff?" Of course I'm not. I'm just saying, would any of you take Ramsey at your respective clubs? I mean, obviously, there's a player in there and he's not on form at the moment, but free transfer, you never know.
We're going to, Josh Kingsnorth, welcome to you, sir. Been connected with Josh for many years now. We're going to talk about Roma in a little bit. Aaron Dubb is in the chat. Luan's in the chat. Ryan McFarlane's in the chat. Arman, Max.
How close to 100 likes?
Let's get this show. We're on 66 likes. Let's get this up to 100 likes, people. Any donations, 50% does go to charity. And I've had 5 subscribers in the last 10 minutes. If I can get another 20 tonight, I'd be delirious and get to my 1,500. And tomorrow will be the 12th week. Tomorrow is week 12. So if I could do 1,500 in 12 weeks, I think that's pretty good, Henry. I'll be happy with that.
That's some going, yeah.
Last player is a Tottenham player. According to Romano again, Giovanni Lo Celso is in talks with Villarreal, but he has said that if West Ham get Zielinski, that Napoli will also be looking at Lo Celso. What's a better move for Lo Celso? Would it be Villarreal, where he's been, and the Spanish league that he knows, or Napoli?
What do they see in Lo Celso?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
He wins at Villarreal and in 3 matches got back-to-back Man of the Match awards. So what is it in England? Because there's clearly a player there. Napoli and Villarreal are going after you. There's got to be something there, surely. Like the logistics of it. Unai Emery now wants to compete with silverware in Villarreal in that Conference League. And that probably makes more sense. He's played there before. He knows the league. For me, I don't really think going to Napoli would be the best move out of the two. I think Villarreal would be a better option. But people, we are only 27 likes away from the 100. Please hit that like button. But yeah, Villarreal I think makes more sense for me than Napoli.
Perfect. Sustainable Shooter, welcome to you. Pleasure speaking with you last night in the THFC show that I was watching before those idiots came into the comments. Wayne Holland has said he signed it 2 months ago, mate. Going to cost 90. Oh, right. So he's actually signed the 5-year deal. Well, that would make it even more interesting. If Chelsea came now and went 80, 90 million. Just before we move to talk about Barca and Madrid, Thomas Tuchel's comments, either the back end of last week or the weekend, whenever it was, Henry. I mean, talk about put pressure on your new owners after they've owned the club for about 6-7 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's do you know what? I think I'm not really a fan of Thomas Tuchel. I feel like when it comes to attacking players, he doesn't get the most out of them that he should, aka Lukaku, Timo Werner, etc. But I think there's a bit of tension building there in that Chelsea camp. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be a bit cautious there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those, isn't it? It's either going to absolutely implode, or they're just going to go out and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're all going to go, Jesus, look at that. Look at the strength they've got. But it's on a knife edge at the moment. They need more attackers. They need a centre half, but we'll see. Let's move on, Henry. For anyone interested in Spanish football, look, I'm a big fan of watching all leagues. I've over the years, it's been fascinating to watch Barcelona versus Madrid. It's kind of been like that, Henry, for about 2-3 decades with them. And then chuck into the mix Atletico Madrid, who every now and then win it. And then you've got Valencia, Villarreal, Sevilla. They kind of all take turns on being top 4 and winning Europa Leagues. Let's talk, before we talk about Barcelona and their money, let's talk about Barcelona versus Madrid, because I think last year, let me bring it up. Last year, if I look at the Spanish league, where are we? In La Liga, the standings last season, Real Madrid won the league by 13 points from Barcelona. I personally think Barcelona will, I don't know if they'll win it, but I really do believe they will close that gap this year. They've made some solid signings. We'll talk about the legitimacy of it in a minute, but they've made some solid signings, Henry, at the back, in midfield, out wide and up front. They're still now talking about Azpilicueta. If not, they're looking at Reguilon from Tottenham, apparently. Have Barca done enough to rescue the La Liga title back from Real Madrid? You said no 2 weeks ago. Since then, they've signed Lewandowski, Kessie, and Koundé, and Rafinha.
It's not bad, is it?
It's not.
It's not. I still don't think they're going to win the league. Not yet. One more big player, and I think, because I look at it and I just think, defensively, I think Madrid are stronger personally. I mean, I think Rudiger's one of the best centre-backs in the world. I rate him that highly. I think Barca probably have the better attack. You look at...
Do you think?
Lewandowski and Benzema cancel each other out, right? Vinicius Junior and Rafinha. Obviously, Vinicius Junior wins.
Would you? Sorry, I've got to jump in there. Would you put Rafinha on the same level as Vinicius Junior?
No, I'm saying Vinicius Junior is better, but then Barcelona have also got Ferran Torres, Depay,
Dembele, Fati.
Yeah, there you go.
Aubameyang.
They look at Real Madrid and they've got Vinicius Junior, Benzema. Is it Rodrigo? How do you say his name? The young guy who scored 2 goals. And then it's kind of a bit like, after that, it's a bit... Then you look at midfield, though. I think Madrid walk it with their midfield. Their midfield is ridiculous. You know, Camavinga, Tchouameni, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro. Yeah. It's frightening.
So let me ask, just before you go on, I want to ask everyone in the chat. Now, again, this isn't my opinion. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't support either club. First of all, tell us, who's going to win La Liga? Is it... chuck someone else in if you want. It's almost like we've discounted everyone. Is it going to be Madrid or Barca or another? And talk to me. I want to ask this question to everyone in the chat. We're going to speak about this right now, Henry. The Kroos, Modric, Casemiro midfield tripod has been phenomenal for 7 years.
Yeah,
8 years. Yeah. My question to everyone in the chat, and Henry, you can answer this immediately after I've done this. Are they going to be as good this year now they're even older? And how are they going to incorporate Tchouameni and Camavinga? So there's lots to contemplate there. What do you make of that, Henry?
I think they'll still be as good. Modric, we saw him last year, even at 36, coming up to 37. But the players they've got in the wings in Camavinga and Tchouameni they're not 2 average footballers. These are world-class talents. I think Casemiro's early 30s now. Toni Kroos is early 30s. They've still got plenty of gas in the tank. Look at Busquets and all. Busquets is in his 30s. He's still doing it for Barcelona.
Yeah. I think the difference is Busquets around him has got Gavi, Pedri, Nico, De Jong, now add Frank Kessie, who's just got a wonderful engine on him. So, I mean, I'm interested to see that play out. Do you think we're going to see more of Camavinga this year?
Oh, Camavinga and especially Tchouaméni. I mean, they're both world-class talents. I think they'll both, really feature this year. Carlo Ancelotti's good at that as well. He puts a lot of faith in young talent. Look at that Rodrigo. He's like 19. He brings him off the bench and he goes on and scores 2 Champions League goals in the semi-final. Like this isn't. You're not going in on the Premier League game in the 90th minute like Steven Bergwijn against Leicester. You're going in a Champions League final against Manchester City. So clearly there's faith in there.
Yeah. So if Madrid have signed 2 players. They've signed Rudiger at the back, phenomenal signing on a free transfer. Militao, Alaba, and they've signed Tchouaméni in midfield from Monaco. They've not done any other business.
Mm-hmm.
Did they need to do a lot? Because like you said, I feel that, again, I don't ever want to see injuries to players, but I feel like an injury to Benzema and where are the goals coming from, right?
Well, you got there's a similar situation there to kind of what other teams in the Premier League have got, where they're so reliant on 2 or 3 players, but at the same time, they've got enough money to go out and make 1 more or 2 more Galactico signings. Right. It's like Chelsea. If they don't like a certain player, they'll just go buy the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would you be surprised then to see them dip into the market one last time between now and the end of the window?
Oh, I expect them to make 2 or 3 more signings at least.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll go and sign someone else.
Okay. So that's Madrid. Where with Barca signings, where are Barcelona weak? Because I think we've established that they've got an abundance of goals and talent going forward. They're well covered in midfield. Even if you look at Busquets as being the granddad, just orchestrating, and then as we said, Kessie, De Jong, Gavi, Nico, Pedri. They've still got Ricky Puig is still there. Is it at the back? Is this where they're going to struggle defensively?
Fullbacks.
Okay.
That's what I think. Fullbacks and maybe one other centre back. I think they've got Dest, Jordi Alba.
Yeah.
Who else have they got as wing backs?
I can't even think who they've got. They've bought Dani Alves back, didn't they, for a few months? And he's just signed for
38 now as well.
I know, but he's just signed for Pumas in Mexico. He's still going. And can anyone in the chat tell me what record Dani Alves holds? Not you, Henry. What record does Dani Alves hold? They do look weakish. I mean, Dest for me looks okay. More of a new age fullback stroke wing back where everything is about going that way, but how good is he this way? Jordi Alba's not getting any younger.
What is Jordi Alba now? 32, 33?
Great question. Let's find out. Jordi Alba is squad. Jordi Alba is 34 in March.
Yeah,
34 in March.
I think fullbacks is where they're weakest.
But they've bought in. They've bought in Christensen. I think Christensen and Araujo for me is quite an interesting centre back pairing.
I forget they brought in Christensen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're talking about Azpilicueta as well, who would offer them more defensively than a Sergio Dest would.
Offer leadership as well. They don't really have a leader at the back now because Piqué is he's got to be 34, 35 now as well.
Gerard Piqué, who I think has been just a wonderful player. He is 36 in Feb. Yeah.
There you go.
If I was him, I'd just retire and spend my whole life looking at my wife, Shakira. That's all I do.
They're not together anymore, are they?
That's
the thing
My missus is in the background going, they've broken up.
Yeah, I know. They're not together anymore.
He cheated on her. Oh, he cheated. How can you cheat on Shakira? Oh, who in the chat would cheat on Shakira? There's a good question for you. Let's answer that. Henry, let's move on then. So you're going for Madrid to win the La Liga, yeah?
Yeah, but I think it'll be really close, maybe 2 or 3 points.
Okay. It would be good to see a title race again, because I think last year was, I mean, I like watching Spanish football, but it got to the point where it was Madrid didn't even have to really turn up towards the last sort of third of the season.
With Ancelotti, you've got experience. We won the double last year. I look at it and think, does Xavi have the managerial skill yet to go and win a league title?
Right. We don't know. I mean, we know that he's got them playing some good football. With Xavi, he's from that school. Is my camera flickering for anyone? No. Can I just ask, is my light flickering for anyone? Please let me know. I feel like it is for me. Let me know. Let's move on then. I want to talk about Barcelona then. Before we move on to Italy, Barcelona for the last 3 or 4 years have been broke. They had to let players like Messi go because they couldn't afford his wages. They had to, I believe it was Piqué and I want to say Busquets or Alba, or one of them to slash their salaries. Now they've just spent over 160 million pounds or euros, whatever it is.
Is that with Koundé or without Koundé?
With Koundé, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. Then they've got Kessie and Christensen, who I think are both on about 250 grand a week. That's and now they're looking at Azpilicueta, maybe regular. I mean, how are they getting away with this, Henry? I mean, it's not right, is it?
Oh, they're one of the most corrupt football clubs in the world. They've been like that for about 30 years.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think so. They've sold some TV shares or something, so they earned about 60 million out of that. But I mean, they're telling it's apparently so a lot of this hinges on the sale of De Jong.
Yeah,
that's why they want to get rid of him so much. But it's just not legal, is it? What they're doing is just not legal. You know, there's no way that you would get away with this in the Premier League because Man City have been doing it for years as well. So.
But I think at least with Man City, so I'm not trying to defend them. At least with Man City, their owners are worth more than countries. You know, I think with Barcelona's, it's almost like they're in so much debt, but they just keep getting money from this avenue, from this sponsorship, from this image rights, from was it Spotify that have done the stadium image rights?
They tried to do the wedding, didn't they? So, they were taking weddings on the pitch. It's like they're just trying to do anything they can to get money. It sounds like someone else I
know. maybe they need Daniel Levy running them. That's who you were talking about. I mean, sorry, a player that we didn't mention. Yeah, someone's just mentioned. Someone's just mentioned Eden Hazard. I mean, have we seen the best of Eden Hazard?
Fit now. He's apparently really fit and looking sharp. Also, we forgot to mention players like Real Madrid have got Valverde. They've got who's the other? They've got another player who's really good as well. Another youngster.
I can tell you if you want. So Real Madrid, if we look at the Real Madrid squad, they've got players like Borja Mayoral. They've got Eden Hazard. They've got Mariano Diaz, Asensio, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., Lucas Vasquez, Valverde, Ceballos. They've got some players.
Yeah, it's frightening. It's just frightening.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this Barcelona thing that's going on, do you think this is going to tank the club for years to come? Are people going to respect them the way they used to when they brought through Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, Piqué, but all of these? Has that, even though now they've got Fati and Gavi and Nico and Pedri, is this being tainted now because of this money situation?
I think it is. I think a lot of clubs don't respect Barcelona more than what they used to.
Mhm.
When it was like between 2005 to 2015, it was frightening. All the Guardiola, the early Rijkaard stage.
We forgot Koundé when we were talking about Barcelona's defenders.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, go
frightening the
on.
amount of talented players they've got. I don't feel like teams respect Barcelona as much anymore. I feel like a lot of
Right.
people respect Real Madrid a lot more. I mean, what Real Madrid did in the Champions League last year, being all the oil money clubs in Chelsea, City, and PSG,
Mhm.
and then Liverpool. Like, I feel like Barcelona, I just don't feel like they've got the pedigree and there's not. It's not Barcelona anymore, is it?
No, it isn't, but it is. Now, I'm going to put a spin on this. I've been reading about Barcelona a lot lately. And whilst all this money stuff is bad for football, and of course, and we're seeing it more and more across the globe, Barcelona in the last year have rehired the old guy who
The old
used to manage,
director of football, isn't it?
yeah, who used to do the La Masia. They've brought back in Jordi Cruyff as the director of football, who was successful there before. We're now seeing, in the last 3-4 years, so the reason I'm bringing this up is Del Boy said they've got no strategy, they just sign everyone, but they have also bought through. When you look at next year in the same starting 11, Henry, you could have Fati, Pedri, Gavi, Nico. They're still bringing through young players, but it almost feels like it's being overlooked because of the other shenanigans that they're up to, right?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. They've got so much talent there, in their academy. I mean, they've got the best. You look at them in Ajax, and you think like their academies are just on a different level to everyone else.
Yeah,
the players they produce on a yearly basis is genuinely frightening.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely it's mad. Just quickly before we go on, yeah, it is flickering. Someone's told me my light is flickering. Apologies, I don't know why that's happening. Hopefully it will sort itself out soon. I do apologise. Hopefully it's not ruining the view. If not, it's probably making my face look better than it actually is. Even though someone did call me a Calvin Klein model yesterday in one of my chats, Henry. This guy, Calvin Klein model. Guys, before we move on and look at the Italian league, we're not finished with the Spanish league, but before we move on, please keep hitting that like button. We are on 88 likes. Can we get another 12 to get this to the 100 mark? Also, can I please ask, can everyone please keep subscribing to Henry Wright TV and myself? I am 18 away from the 1500 mark. It might not mean anything to you, but for the amount of time and effort that I put in and that Henry puts in, it means a lot to us. I know everyone thinks we just turn our laptop on and press stream. It's really, really a lot more than that. Yeah, lots of long hours and unhappy wives, should we say. So please, if you could subscribe, that would be great. I'm hoping to get nearer the 1500 mark by the end of the night. Henry, anyone else, before we move on to the Italian league, can anyone gate crash that Madrid Barcelona party at the top?
Not in the Liga.
Atletico not anymore.
No, not anymore. I feel like Griezmann's completely fell off a rock as well. No one even talks about him anymore, do they?
No.
I mean, only 5 or 6 years ago, he finished third on the Ballon d'Or. And now he's kind of like, where is he? Where is Griezmann? Atletico Madrid will be thereabouts, maybe top 5, top 4, but I don't think they're going to be anywhere near Barca and Madrid. I think Italy's going to be I think Italy outside of the Premier League is going to be the most exciting league to watch.
I do, and we're going to move on to that. Just quickly, sorry, one question I meant to ask before I got all excited and talking about Shakira and likes and things like that. Do you think a lot of the factor of Barcelona not having that, they used to strike the fear of God into teams? Yeah. Is it, I think I know the answer, but the fact that Messi's not there anymore, I mean, how much does that remove from them as being the global powerhouse that they were?
See, I see what you're saying, but then at the same time, people are still scared of Madrid and they don't have Ronaldo. People aren't scared of PSG and they've got Messi.
That's true.
I don't feel like I just don't feel like it's Barcelona. I don't enjoy watching Barcelona.
I don't as much anymore. I don't as much.
When it was Pep, it was genuinely those 3 years that he was at Barcelona. I have never seen a football team play football like that in my life. It was honestly, it was on a different wavelength. Everyone had a connection. All the players, their chemistry was frightening.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, right? For everyone that always tells me, "Oh, Pep Fraudiola," I'm going to ask you this. Yes, he gets the top players because managers like that don't go and manage poor teams. Why would you? Right? But every team he leaves are so much worse when he goes. The football they play, everything about them. Barca have never been the same. Bayern Munich now.
You could argue, but with Bayern Munich though, because since he has left, they have won the Champions League.
Oh, for sure.
And actually, the year after he left Bayern Munich, they won the Champions League.
Yeah, listen, I'm just talking about in terms of the way the teams play football, etc.
The philosophy, 100%.
And, if he was to leave Man City now, bringing someone else into Man City, do they have that same philosophy? Because lots of the players you read comments from say that Pep is second to none when it comes to one-on-one, man-to-man management.
He's going to have a really, really good season, and I think he's going to be one of the best players in Europe next year. And that is Phil Foden. I think Foden is going to. I think Pep is going to try to mold Foden the way he molded the likes of Iniesta. They're very. If you watch the way Iniesta plays and Foden plays, okay, Foden's a bit more out on the wing at times, but they're very similar. They're both small, agile players, both left-footed. They're just everything's cute, delicate little touches.
If someone had told you that Phil Foden was a product of the La Masia, you'd believe them. The way he plays. Yeah. You believe them, wouldn't you?
He doesn't play like an English footballer.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. And that's what Pep loves about him. And that's why, do you remember, everyone was saying 4 or 5 years ago, get him out on loan. And Pep was like, no, he's going to stay on loan with us and I'm going to play him. And I just think he's a phenomenal
player. He's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, he's absolutely class. Let's move on from Barcelona and from Spain. Let's go to the Italian league. Now, the Italian league, when I was growing up, as we talked about, was the league. It was the league. It's kind of had a bit of a dip. They've still had some good teams throughout the years, but as a league, as a whole, it's not been the strongest. I just get the feeling, I've been watching it more and more the last 3-4 years. I just get the feeling that now that Juve, who dominated it for like a decade, now that they're not, it feels like Milan are much stronger, Inter are stronger, Napoli, Roma, Fiorentina, Atalanta.
Lazio as well.
Lazio. And they seem to be making some really good transfers now. What do you make of the Italian league where it is now? And is it growing?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to go out on a limb. I actually think it's the most competitive league in Europe. I generally do. I think it's more competitive than the Premier League because in the last 3 years, you've had 3 different winners on the league.
Yep.
Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan.
Yep.
In the last 5 years in the Premier League, only one other team has won it other than Man City.
Yep. Yeah.
It's so competitive. That top 8, Fiorentina, Lazio, Roma, Inter, AC, Napoli, Juventus. In the Premier League, it's kind of like Man City and Liverpool, and then everyone else. You know, like in that league next year, 4 or 5 teams could easily win the league. I know they say Premier League managers will come out. Tuchel might say, oh, yeah, but 5 teams can really win the Premier League next year. Tottenham and Chelsea aren't going to win it. Arsenal are going to be nowhere near. Man United are in a transitional period. It's going to be Man City versus Liverpool. I generally think when you watch the Serie A next year and Juventus are going to go for it, I honestly think, genuinely, what Luan says there, if Roma get one out of them over the line, they're going to go far. Dybala, Matic, Pellegrini. Who else have they got? Zaniolo, Tammy Abraham.
They've got the guy, the Guyan, or the young guy up front as well. They've got Shumarodov as well.
Yeah, I actually look at Roma and look at AC Milan, and I think they're not that far away.
Listen, I saw a lot of people when Jose went to Roma. Roma had finished 7th, and I think one of the statements he made was, "This is a big job." And he was saying it in the way of not a big job as in a big club. It was like, there's a lot to do here. Already, it feels like that he's gone there. He's won a trophy. They've finished a place higher in the league.
Do you think they can win the league under Jose?
I feel like the league might be a bit of a stretch.
If anyone would do it, though, it would be him.
Of course it would be him. But I still feel that this year, I'll say this right now, Champions League has to be their aim as a minimum. Champions League. But he's managed to get...
Who would be the top 4?
Oh, God. I mean, straight away, you've got to say the Milans.
The Milans, Juve, and Roma.
But then, yeah, look, I think the question is, Fiorentina losing Vlahovic was such a blow. And haven't they lost Milinkovic-Savic as well?
Fiorentina? I don't think he's left yet, has he? No,
I'm not sure.
Milinkovic-Savic is at Lazio. Milinkovic, the centre-back.
Oh, sorry, Nikola Milenkovic.
Milinkovic. Yeah, he's going, yeah.
Right. I feel like they might be the ones that drop away. I really like the way Atalanta play, but have they got the big guns?
They've only got 12 players, haven't they? Their bench is terrible.
So for me, I think it's going to be Milan into Juve, Roma in some way. Lazio, they've lost a few, haven't they? I think they've lost Dries Mertens.
Yeah, he went to America.
Sorry, not Lazio. Napoli. Sorry.
He went. They lost Insigne.
Insigne, yeah. So Insigne's gone from there. Dries Mertens gone from Napoli. I do find it a really good league to watch. There's some really good football played in there, and I know lots of people just go, "Oh, it's such a poor league." It's not. It's really not a poor league.
I think, in my opinion, the best leagues in the world. I think in my personal opinion, it goes obviously the Premier League, La Liga, and then most people put Germany third because you've got Leverkusen, you've got Dortmund, you've got Frankfurt, you've got Munich, you've got Mönchengladbach. But I think now Italy is a better league. It's a lot more competitive.
I do. We're gonna go to the German and French league in a minute, but it's competitive, the Italian league, right? And surely, as a neutral, you want to see that. I mean, I think I saw. Was it? Yeah, it was. I saw a stat saying in the last 12 games of the season, I think Milan and Inter could have overtaken each other every single week. It was that close. And Milan have got some fantastic players, the likes of Leao. They've got a guy called Zlatan who still plays up front. Giroud's there.
That's another thing for me why I think AC might not do it. Zlatan's out for about 5 months.
Yeah, but he's still ripped. You see him ripped?
Yeah, I think, have they got the firepower? They've got Leao, they've got Giroud. I don't know if AC Milan will retain it. I think maybe Juve, Inter, now they've got Lukaku.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The Lukaku-Martinez partnership. I'll be honest. I would love to see Roma win it. I would. Roma have got so much history, and Jose just kind of shithouses himself 2 trophies, doesn't he? I don't think they will, by the way. I'm not saying they will. But look, he took over a team in 7th. He's just won a European trophy with them, so he's taken them to the next level of European football now. Would you put it past him, Henry? Would you put it past Jose winning the Europa League with Roma?
I'd love to see him go and stink the Emirates out. I'd give anything for that, honestly, because I don't think he's ever lost it. I don't think he lost a league game at the Emirates. He might have at Man United, but he definitely didn't at Chelsea.
Yeah. Just quickly, keep going on that quickly.
Imagine him going at and absolutely stinking out. I wonder what the odds are for Mourinho to win Serie A. I mean, that would be just imagine that.
And the thing is as well, when you look at the players he's signed as well, he's bought a couple of stalwarts, hasn't he? When you look at the experience of Matic, if he gets Wijnaldum,
and 9-1 to win the league. Roma, the favourites at Inter Milan, are by a long way.
I can understand that, but you look at Matic for experience. I really like Cristante. I think he's a very good midfielder. Wijnaldum would just add still. Pellegrini, I think, is a wonderful footballer.
Have they got the defence, though? Do you think they've got the defence to win the league?
I really like their wing backs, Karsdorp and Zalewski. I feel like they could do. Though. I like Ibanez. The other two are okay. When you look at Mancini and Smalling, they're okay. I feel like they might need another body in there, but I think they'll finish Champions League, and then if he's come in year one, taking them from 7th to 6th and won a European trophy. Year two, if they can win a trophy and finish top 4, he'll have done his job, right? Can you see Napoli being as strong? I feel like they were right there until like 7 or 8 games, and then just kind of fell away, didn't they?
I feel like they've lost Insigne now. They've lost Koulibaly. They could lose Zielinski as well. I think they'll get Europa next year.
Just quickly, so Faz, I'm pretty sure Faz was one of the guys having a right old go at me last night in the THFC show. One of the people, I mean, toxic Savva for thinking we'll finish 4th and not rating the likes of Ryan Sessegnon. Savva, what is your most optimistic prediction about what? What in football in general? My most optimistic prediction, I think, if you want me to talk Spurs, don't you? My most optimistic prediction is that we finish 3rd. In football, I don't think we will, but if I don't say that, I'm the most toxic fan in the world. In football in general, I think the prediction I made to Henry a couple of weeks ago when I said that I think Haaland will be the Premier League top scorer, the Premier League Player of the Year, and the Premier League Young Player of the Year. That's how good I think he is.
I've been thinking about it long and hard, and I have a feeling Harry Kane is going to get the Golden Boot. I think he's going to have an absolute monstrous campaign, or he'll get injured. Like, there's going to be no in between. I look at him now, and he just looks so sharp. Like, he looks like 16, 17 Harry Kane when he got 29 and 30. But then again, Haaland, the guy's going to be...
It's going to be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how Pep rotates him and Alvarez.
Just quickly, just hold that thought. 16 more subscribers to get to 1,500. Who wants to be that person? Come on, please be there for me. If everyone who hasn't could just go over and subscribe, that would be great. Let's see if we can get rid of some of these naked HD. Somebody's already done it. Thank you. Do you know the thing is, Henry? Everyone I speak to now, it doesn't matter what show I'm on, what club I'm talking to. Whenever you talk about top scorers, everyone's saying Haaland or Kane. Why is everyone all of a sudden forgetting about a certain Mo Salah who's been up there every year for about 4 years?
Obviously, he's going to score a lot of goals, but I'm not buying into what everyone's saying. I obviously know how good Liverpool are going to be, but I watched some of their game earlier, right? And I just thought, something's not quite right here.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not saying that Spurs are going to finish second and we're going to go on a title charge. Obviously, it'll be between Liverpool and Man City, but I don't know. I get a feeling that, Son could be up there as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, when you look at it, you've got right. I'm going to ask you a question just quickly. Hello, Sophie. Big up to you. We did invite Iggy on, but he just said he doesn't have any knowledge of the Serie A, so he couldn't come on and talk to us. So tell him if he wants to be schooled, we can speak to him in the WhatsApp group later. Just before we go and speak about Bayern Munich and PSG, in the Premier League, Henry, Give me a shout for an outsider to win the Golden Boot. So not Son or Kane or Haaland or Salah. Outsider. Come on. Let me put you to the test here. Is there anyone? And everyone in the comments, as well as subscribing, I'm 15 away now. 15 away. Tell me, who's an outsider for the Premier League Golden Boot?
2 players.
Go on.
You're gonna laugh.
Go on.
Gabriel Jesus won't win it, but he'll be up there.
Okay.
Because now he's going to be their only goal. He's got to be their main goal for it.
Right.
And Ronaldo, of course. If Ronaldo stays there, he'll be up there. I was going to say Samaka.
This is where Scott lets himself down. His hate for Jose lets him down. Roma don't have meh players. Roma have got some fantastic footballers.
Actually, no, I don't think Gabriel Jesus will win it. I don't think he'll be up there. I think you'll score a lot of goals. I think you'll get maybe 14. What about Samaka?
I mean, it depends. Another one. Does he come? Does he hit the ground running? I mean, but if we're talking about recently to win the Golden Boot, you're looking at 23 goals, right? You're looking in and around 23. It's not what it used to be. It used to be like 30 goals. Is Maka capable of 23 goals? I would probably say no.
He got 16 or 17 last year.
Yeah. Listen, I think he'll do well. Jesus is an interesting one. Again, with Spurs hat off, he's going to play every game. I think he's a good player. I think he is so underrated by people that couldn't understand that Pep rotates. I think he's so underrated. And I think he will get 16 or 17 league goals. Shouldn't say that, should I? Get in trouble for saying that. Anyone else? I mean, Sterling at Chelsea, is he going to be their main goal outlet?
No. How many do you think Richarlison will get?
8 or 9.
I
just don't. Huh?
I think you get more than that.
Listen, I'm just looking at it and going, okay, Kane and Son are your 2 goal scorers, right? Kane and Son between them are going to get 40 to 50 goals. They always do, right? By hook or crook. Last year, they got 40. Season 4, I think, was 43 or 4, whatever it may be. I can't have any reason to see that changing this year. Kulusevski will, I think, start more and score 10 to 12, maybe 13, 14. How many more goals can somebody else score on top of that, I think, is the point. And will he get enough minutes in the league? All questions. I don't know, mate. We don't know. Kane could get injured. Richarlison plays every game of the season. We don't know. I see him. I said this to Graham the other day, Henry. I see Richarlison through his career as a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer.
Yeah.
I don't think he's your 20, 25 goal a season, man. But some of his goals I've seen for Everton, I've gone, oh, that was a touch of class. Do you know what I mean?
What about how many do you think Danny Ings will get?
Danny Ings, never fit, is he? I don't know. I feel like he's completely dropped off now. I think 2-3 years ago, maybe. For me, I just don't see enough in Ings anymore. Then again, I don't rate Gerrard as a manager. Sorry, I don't see him getting the best out of anyone. Big up to Bob, who said, big up you beautifully average looking lads. Great show. I've been called worse today than a beautifully average lad. I had someone in my YouTube earlier, Henry. Honestly, this guy messaged me and he said, it's quite funny actually. He went, I feel you might be mentally ill. So I went back and I said, any particular reason why? And you know what? I'm mentally ill because of my football opinions. And he came back and he went, oh, you enjoy inflicting your negativity on others. And I said, dude, my football opinion, if my football opinion is inflicting negativity on others, that doesn't say a lot for them and their own belief, right? So if you turn around to me, like if you turn around and go, Jared Bowen, who you really like, top class player. If I turn around and go, oh, I think he's all right. Does any part of you think, oh my God, Savva's imparted negativity on me and I can't cope with my... it was just apparently I've got to go and see a doctor. So I'll be doing that tomorrow just to check that I'm all right. Maybe he'll give me some pills and all of a sudden I'll start liking Sessegnon and Royal. Moving on, Henry, from the Premier League goal scorers. Let's talk about France, first of all, for the last 10 minutes. Let's talk about France. Let's have a look at PSG just won it the year before. Lille won it. I think before that, it was like a 10-year monopoly. Lille
and Monaco won it as well, and then Monaco won it for 1 year.
Right, okay, Monaco won it. But other than that, it's been a real monopoly of PSG. Is it going to be that for the foreseeable? Can you see anybody touching them? Is it just going to be PSG?
Just going to be PSG. I honestly don't think another team will win it for another 5 years, 7 years. It's just pointless. That league is absolutely pointless.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't generate a massive amount of revenue compared to the other leagues. It's barely above Liga NOS. It's only above Liga NOS by about 16 league points. So, like, Liga NOS overtook it last year for the 5th best league. And Liga NOS is just a lot more competitive. You've got Benfica, you've got Braga, you've got Sporting.
Yeah.
You've got, who's the other big team they've got out there? Porto as well. It's just PSG.
It is.
I have no respect for Kylian Mbappé.
Mate, listen, just quickly, I want to talk to you about Mbappé. Just before we do, Faz, listen, you weren't the one who called me the most toxic, but when you said it, I should give this transfer window some credit, not just negative. Again, that would suggest to me you don't ever listen to my shows. I have, as Henry, what do I say about this window? You can tell
them. You've said so far that we've made some good signings in Basuma and Perisic. It's okay, but you would like to see more. Same as everyone else. It's not a 10 out of 10 window. Anyone that says this is a 10 out of 10 window is fucking deluded.
So, Faz, what I'd love to know is about that statement, what's negative? Listen, as a fan, right? If you're negative, Faz, because you're just happy with everything, that's negative in my eyes, right? But I'm not calling you negative, but that's negative in my eyes. I'm a winner in life, right? Everything I do, I want to win. When I worked in recruitment as a recruitment consultant years ago, I wanted to win. I wanted to be top of the billing charts, right? I don't settle for, it's been okay. So if you think that's negative, maybe that's more a reflection on your mediocrity. I don't know, mate. But what I would appreciate, Faz, is if in chats like in the THFC show, you don't sit there and make out to everyone like I'm this right old miserable sod that doesn't like anything about Tottenham Hotspur. One day, come and have a night out of me and see how miserable I am. Henry's laughing. He's had many a night out of me. He knows how we roll. Henry, Mbappé, talk to me. We've talked about this before. World Cup winner, no doubting his ability, but I mean, staying at PSG for however long when he could have gone on a free.
Is the closest thing we've seen. Is the closest thing we have seen since Thierry Henry. Everything about Kylian Mbappé is Thierry Henry. You know, pace, power, skill, agility, a goal machine. But you had the opportunity to go to Real Madrid on a free. Then you had the opportunity to go to Real Madrid for 160 million, right? And I just think, why stay at PSG? It's just, okay, you're going to win the league. You might win a couple of French Cups, but it's nothing about you that really goes, okay, thank you. I look at Haaland and I think, okay, I've destroyed the Bundesliga.
We forgot this guy.
Yeah. I did say Ronaldo. I think he'll score a lot of goals, but I don't think he'll beat United. I think he'll
go on. Yeah, sorry. Go on. Yeah, go on.
I look at Haaland and I think, okay, you're the closest thing we've got out there to rival Mbappe, and you've just gone to the best league. You've gone to the Premier League champions. Whereas it would be like, it's the same thing with Bayern Munich. I don't get why teams really go to the likes of Bayern Munich and PSG. I get you're going to win the league and stuff, but Bayern Munich, obviously, there's more of a European pedigree. They're, you know, as you can see on this shirt, they've won 5 Champions Leagues. They are a juggernaut of European football. And there's a good chance they'll win a Champions League in the next 5 years. But PSG, money-orientated football club. Oil Football Club is pretty much owned by a country. They don't have any history. They've bought every single thing. You know, who's the last good academy player that PSG have produced?
So, did Kimpembe come through there?
I thought they bought Kimpembe.
I don't, mate. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I can't off the top. Xavi Simons.
Well, the Dutch
come
player.
through there. I don't know. Look, you're right. You're right. They've just bought everybody from across the globe.
Munich, right? The amount of young players they get and nurture, like Kimmich, they got very young. Thomas Muller, Schweinsteiger, Philipp Lahm. You know, do we need to go back to when they got Neuer at like a 21-year-old? I just think I look at it and think you look at Bayern Munich, that comparing them to PSG. I mean, and even the German league is just a better league, even though it's monopolised by one team. French league, I generally think the Portuguese league is better. I actually think the Eredivisie, the Dutch league, is better than the French league.
I agree. I mean, I don't think. Listen, I've seen leagues before where a team has dominated. Right? I mean, let's be fair. Man City dominate English football, but the drop off from PSG to anyone else is. I mean, let's have a look. What league were they in? They're in France, aren't they? So if we look at last season,
you got Lyon, Marseille, Monaco, PSG. But the drop-off between PSG and those three clubs is frightening as well.
Mate, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, how does that ever end, Henry? How does French football recalibrate itself?
No one's going to be able to get near them. It can't mend itself. There's not enough. There's not other teams that have got, you know, the funding that PSG have got. Yeah. They're one of the richest clubs on the planet, and they're buying players. I just don't see it changing anytime soon. I think Amir is right. The Championship's a better league than the French league.
It's so poor, isn't it? Just quickly, Joseph Monaghan, welcome to you, Joseph. Hope you've subscribed. 15 more subscribers to get me to 1,500 people in 12 weeks. Come on, guys and girls. You can do it. And subscribe to Henry Wright TV. Savva, I love your opinions. I don't get the hate. Great stream, both of you. Look, Joseph, I'll tell you, listen, I'm always going to get hate. I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it. The problem is, as a Spurs fan, as a football fan, I've always been this way. I'm not a sheep. Just because someone tells me so-and-so's a great signing, I will never go, yeah, it is. So when people were telling me to be excited by Richarlison, no, I'm not. I can't help it. When people are telling me, oh my God, like the best ones I've had today, I've had some corkers today. Sam G, whoever he is, this guy is brilliant. So he was in the THFC show last night, right? Saying, oh, Savva's the most toxic fan on YouTube. Then he went into We Are Tottenham TV, right? Fair play to We Are Tottenham TV, doing their thing. You know, they're different to me. Everything for them is just wonderful and rosy. And their show, Henry, did you see what their show was called?
Have Tottenham won the transfer window, wasn't it?
It was Have Tottenham won the transfer window. Now, straight away, they're going to get thousands of people to just go, yes, it's amazing, brilliant. Yes, Spurs are the best. Win, 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 right? Sam G and his
I'll give them their due, though. I do like Ben and Sim. They are the
I'm not knocking them.
Only YouTube channel of that size that is Levy out.
Mate, listen, I'm not knocking them. I've got nothing against them. They've done a magnificent.
The title of the video though is going to draw people in.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if I started a YouTube channel and everything I said was what people like Faz want to hear, what Sam G want to hear, brilliant window, Henry, we're winning the league, I'd have thousands more subscribers. Sam G goes into them and goes, oh my God, Ben and what's his name?
Simeon.
Ben and Sim, you don't know Savva. He's a different type of toxic. And I sat down and thought to myself, I've predicted us to finish fourth, possibly third. What is toxic about that? But it made me laugh because when I asked him to come on my show to debate me, what I said to him, Henry, was, I said, dude, you can have all 5 points. You can choose the points that you think I'm toxic. that I'm negative about, we'll debate them. His answer, I can't debate with someone as closed-minded. So I said, okay, you like Sessegnon, I don't. Does that make you closed-minded to him not being very good? Right, works both ways. So I do find it funny. Henry, we're going to finish up soon. Got a super chat from Aaron, who said, this is rather supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Long time since I've heard that. Henry, you wanted to finish up on a couple of questions?
2 questions for you and everyone else in the chat.
Go for it.
Who is going to win the World Cup, in your opinion?
Argentina springs to my mind every time.
That's my guess. I want to say Argentina, and I'm going to throw a dark horse, but they're not really a dark horse. I have a feeling Germany will be up there.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're not the Germany of 2014, 2012 years, but I think they'll be up there. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? You're going to Argentina.
I'm going to Argentina. I think. Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the chat who's going to win this. Is it Argentina? Just quickly before we come back to that, I'll give you a minute all to please put that in the chat. Freddie SP has said, no, you're going over the top, Henry. The Championship and the Dutch League are not better than the French League. Freddie, I respect you massively. I think you're always in the show, but I'm going to have to, I'm not sure about the Championship, but definitely the Dutch Eredivisie. I think Feyenoord,
PSV,
Ajax, these teams I think are better
than the team that beat us last year. In the Conference League.
Jesus, why have I forgotten Vitesse?
Vitesse beat us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's some decent teams. There's some decent teams. No, don't worry, Luan, I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Phil, listen, absolutely. You will never hear me or Henry say anything negative about We Are Tottenham TV. I've got a lot of time. I voted. I actually messaged them and told them that I voted for them for what was it, Podcast of the Year or Tottenham YouTube Channel of the Year. So yeah, there's no problem there. So please don't everyone go away and create a narrative. I respect them a lot. I've got no problem with them, and I'm sure Henry, you do too, right?
Yeah, I get on really well with both of them. Second question I had.
Go for it.
Who's going to win the Conference League? Who's going to win the Europa League? And who's going to win the Champions League? All into one question. So I'll answer first.
Okay. While we're doing that, all these countries I'm putting out, Henry, are who people think are going to win the World Cup.
So I'm going to say, personally, I think Manchester City will finally win the Champions League.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Europa League will be... I've got a feeling Roma will go far.
Okay.
Tottenham might win the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
That means we'd have to get out of the Champions League.
Right.
I'm going to go Roma. And then I'm going to go Villarreal for the Conference League. Okay. Villarreal, West Ham final.
I mean, that would be really interesting.
Giovanni scores the winner.
Giovanni. I've got to talk about put on the spot. I think the Champions League... I mean, I've said this for the last 4 years, and I've been wrong on each occasion. I do think, as we spoke about before, Henry, I think the Haaland signing, again, all of this is ifs, buts and maybes, because you never know. He could do his cruise shoot in game one. You never know. If he stays fit, I think he is the difference between where they were and where they want to be. I can see City having another barnstorming year and winning 2 or 3 trophies. I think they'll win the Champions League. I don't think Bayern are what they were now. I don't think PSG will ever win it.
Great signings, Gravenberch, Mane.
They have. I just don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. Look, I might be wrong. Bayern are always a good team, but I don't know. There's something not right. I don't think Liverpool will. I don't think we will. I don't think Chelsea will be nearer this year.
What about Liverpool?
Barcelona, Madrid Barcelona, could they? I mean, who knows? I'm going to go with Man City.
A Man City Liverpool final, I think.
I mean, Liverpool always do well, don't they, in Europe? Always. And Do you think a lot of that, Henry, is it's those nights at Anfield? No one gets a good result there.
The hardest away ground in Europe. I stand by it. It's such a hard place to go.
Lots of people say it, don't they? Lots of people say it. Europa League. Oh God, I mean, who's in the Europa League?
Roma. Arsenal,
Roma. You've got to say, I've got a shout because they've got Jose. And I say Jose, they've got a fantastic group of players. Who's in it from England? Maybe West Ham, Man United.
West Ham are in the conference. It'll be Arsenal, United.
Oh, sorry, I can't see Arsenal. Man United, maybe. Ten Hag's good in Europe. Always takes his teams quite far. And then the Conference League. I mean, look, can you look past Unai Emery? I mean, he knows how to win trophies. Who's in it from England?
West Ham.
I've got a feeling that West Ham will have learnt their lesson from last year and might put a little bit more emphasis on league rather than going deep into Europe.
I think Unai Emery, I think he's just the guys just 4 Europa Leagues. It's just ridiculous.
Mate, listen, it doesn't matter what people think about him. This is what we say. Sometimes facts are facts, right? We can all debate, but facts are facts. And Unai Emery has won multiple trophies. To win the Europa League once is tough, right? It's a grueling campaign. How many times has he won it?
4 times. 3 with Sevilla, once with Villarreal. I might have even won it 5.
Hasn't he got to 5 finals and lost 1 of them or something like that?
I don't think he has lost the final. He's beaten Milan. He's beaten Manchester United. He's beaten, I want to say, did he beat Atletico?
Do you have to go, by the way, Henry? Or
no, I've got to shoot in a minute, yeah.
Yeah. No, just quickly before we do, do you want to answer this question from Shazar? Apologies if I said your name wrong.
Portsmouth. I'm really excited for this because I want to see how he's going to do. Because now, it's a tough league. Unai Emery's never lost a final. I didn't think he had. He lost with Arsenal to 4. Was that not Wenger?
I can't remember. Didn't he lose the Europa final to Chelsea for Arsenal?
I thought that was Wenger.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Unai. Someone in the chat will tell us. Was it him? Just quickly, I've got a super chat, Henry. I've got to read these out. Phil P, always a big supporter of mine. Thank you very much. Said, thank you very much. Half this money does go to charity. I know I'm this horrible, horrible guy, but I do give a lot to charity. There is a huge difference between being entitled, toxic, negative, and wanting, demanding more, questioning. Debate is fun. Enjoy it, everyone in it. Absolutely, mate. That's all I try and do. I think sometimes, Phil, when Henry and I put out like our morning videos, you have to understand sometimes when we ask a question, it might not necessarily be what we believe. Yeah, it's to get people talking, right? Always remember that. H just said Man City for the Champions League, Europa League, Man United, Bournemouth for the Champions League. Henry, look, I know you need to go, don't you?
Yeah, I've got to shoot. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to stay. I'll stay online for another 10 minutes. Henry, I'll catch you in the morning, mate. As always, love this. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. I'll stay on for another 5-10 minutes. Right, okay, there we go. He's never lost a final. Oh, yeah, he did. He did lose with okay, right. Someone's saying he did. Someone's saying he didn't. Look, either way, he's got a fantastic record, hasn't he? He knows how to win trophies. Scott, it looks like Scott and Aaron having a chat. Aram is currently learning Japanese. Fair play to you. Jimmy Costco, it was Emery Hazard's last game. Yes, it was. Yeah, I seem to remember where I was watching that now. Was it 4-0, 4-1, 3-1, something like that? Look, Dane Scarlett, there's a lot of Spurs fans in the chat. Dane Scarlett, another one like Parrott. Good to see them getting a loan move. I think that, there's a difference between the two. Obviously, Scarlett is very young. I think before he wasn't allowed on loan because he wasn't old enough. Be good to see him going to get some proper men's football, going down, see what he can do. No pressure on him as such. Just give a good account of yourself. For me, though, I think Parrott is definitely, he's got to have a good year. Definitely need a good goal scoring year. Full ball as a City for the quad. I mean, I just feel for anyone to do the quadruple is just a huge ask. I think Liverpool are as close as we're going to see it. But look, it's football. Never say never, right? Jack Taylor, Yorkshire Spurs, has said, Savva thinks Spurs will get Maddison. Oh, mate, I would really like to think we will. Look, I said it earlier in the stream. I feel like this is probably more a name that us fans are putting out there more than Conte actually wanting him. I don't know that. For all we know, they could be doing a deal right now, but I'd love to see him. I don't think we're that ambitious. I want to be proven wrong. I'd love to sit here in 2 weeks and go, I was wrong. We bought Maddison. He's been my number one target for a few years. And for me, I think he just gives a world of options. Set pieces, playmaker, goals, assists. I think he's the full package. English quota feels like a bit of a no-brainer to me. I would kindly say thank you so much to everybody in the show tonight. It's been great. I've got a lot of subscribers, a lot of likes. Thank you for any super chats. Apologies if ever I come across toxic. I don't mean to be. It's just my opinion. I am a bit of a perfectionist. I don't like being positive for positive's sake, because I was taught when I was younger that it's false, and I'm not a false person. So that's me. It's everyone's entitled to their opinion. I do find it funny though that if I turn around as a fan and say I don't rate Ryan Sessegnon, which I don't, that someone will go, oh my God, that's toxic. I don't think it's toxic. I just don't rate him. It's nothing about the lad. He seems like a nice guy. It's strange, isn't it? Because if I ask that same person, who do you not rate? Oh, I don't rate Darwin Núñez. Oh, are you toxic for not rating them? Or is it because I don't rate a player who plays for my club? Yeah, so I find it interesting that you're negative and you're toxic because you don't rate a player for your own club. Whereas I believe you can rate and not rate who you like. Look, really, really enjoyed the show tonight. I'm going to leave it there. If anyone else does want to subscribe, please do. I'm hoping to get to 17 really quickly. Just quickly, I always get caught with more questions. Do I think Skip is good enough? Now, this is an interesting one. Hold that thought, Brian. Sorry, talking about football all day does get your mouth tied. Do I rate Skip? Is he good enough? First of all, my question to you, Brian, will be this. When people say that, good enough for what? I think Skip's a decent player. I think he's still young. I think, unfortunately, his season was cut short by injury. I've not seen anything that makes me go, wow. Doesn't mean I have to see something that makes me go, wow. I think he looks like a decent player. For me, I feel like last year he should have probably been out on loan somewhere playing every week. I don't know. Right, okay, so Brian, you've said down here, good enough to take us top three. Not for me. I'll be called negative for this. Not for me, I think. But he's still young, a couple of years maybe. The next 18 months for him are make or break, right, at this level. You either come to the party and show what you're good at, or you end up being Harry Winks and being the forgotten man. Let's see what other comments have we got. Phil P has said, that's Savva. What did you reckon of my impression of you on Tottenham away on Monday night? I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's lovely. Were you pretending to be a good-looking guy like me? I've got you, Phil. I've got you. I didn't see it, mate. If you want to send me the clip in Insta or YouTube, I'll happily see it. Where are we? Brian Thomas has said, at Savva Talk Spurs, at Henry Wright TV, at Will Stewart. It would be great to have you all on a show with at We Are Tottenham TV. I don't think they'd have us on. I don't think we're positive enough for them. I don't think no offense, I just don't think they'd want to answer the difficult questions we ask. I feel like they want to keep it all like last word on Spurs. Nothing against them. Ricky has done great things, but I don't feel they answer the difficult questions. I feel like they just want to tell everyone everything's great. And I like to get it's a double-edged sword, everyone. I like to be very when I put a post on YouTube, I like to comment and interact with people, but that gets me in trouble. So I might stop doing that. And I like to interact with everybody in my shows like this, whereas I feel a lot of shows don't. So, but I will never stop doing that. Faz said, Savva, just to be clear, I appreciate your channel. Faz, I appreciate you watching the channel, my friend. Listen, it's all opinions, right? It's just when you was in the THFC show last night telling everyone, oh, hang on. Who have we got here? Who have we got here?
You all right?
Stelios has joined the show. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you know what I've just realised? Are you going to be going much longer?
I can go for a few more minutes, mate. What's up?
Oh, just a few minutes. Oh, don't worry. I was going to go get my PC upstairs, but
mate, I can go for another. I can go for another half an hour if you want to jump on your PC.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Stel in the house, back YouTubing. I'm so happy that Stel is back. I hate seeing anyone run off the internet for what they believe. Stel, another one. He'll say it as he thinks. Get your questions in. Have you got any questions for Stel? It can be about anything. It doesn't have to just be about Spurs. It can be about Spurs. Get some questions in and we'll talk to Stel. I'll just keep going through a few. Aaron has said, Parrott will not make it a top level. I've personally followed his career since he was 16. I know the details. I wish him well, but he will never play at the top level. Look, I, from what I've seen, Aaron, I agree. But we've seen this before, right, with players. So I agree with you. What I said the other day, I don't know if you agree with this, Aaron. At Preston, he needs to go and score a ton. He needs to go because what I've seen from him on loan is he doesn't score many goals. So I think he needs to go and score a few. Am I going live tomorrow? No, I'm having a day off tomorrow. There's only so much abuse you can take, Jack, and being called negative and toxic all day does start to wear thin. So look, H just said, Faz, don't stress, mate. Everyone is entitled to opinion. Absolutely. Thanks for coming on earlier, H. Ed M has said, Skip is good enough to be part of a rotation, but you wouldn't want to be relying on him every week if you're looking to challenge for a league. That I agree with. For me, I think he's our fourth best midfielder. But let's see what he's made of. I think he's injured again now. I think he's injured again now. I'm not too sure. Brian has said, Savva took Spurs, well said. Whatever that was, yeah, I was probably right. I'm normally right. People who hate me because I'm right. Do you know what? Here's my challenge. Here's my challenge for everyone. I'll tell you what. There are 117 people watching. Can you please put in the post in the chat right now? My prediction right now is that Spurs will finish fourth. Fourth. Can you please put in the prediction? Just yes or no. Is that a negative prediction? Yes, it's negative because you think we're going to be much higher, and no, because you think fourth or lower is our place. Please, could everyone just do that for me? I want to do an experiment. Full Ball said, "No, Savva, we had Tottenham TV are all right. Will and Stella regularly featured. Listen, I've not, as I said, I voted for them for Channel of the Year. I've got no problems with them. Jack, I'm not stopping my channel, man. I'm not stopping it. Listen, I've done 1,500 subscribers in 12 weeks. I don't think many people do that. Hate me or love me, you can't ignore me. Is that fair? That should be my new slogan. Hate me or love me, you can't ignore me. Stel back from the pub. We'll find out in a minute. Here's Stel. Where is his? Let's see if he gets his Arsenal shirt on. I can't see it. Stelly Belly. I like that one. Hashtag free Stel. Loved his game analysis. One more hour, please. I'm not sure if I could do another hour, but I'll keep going for as long as possible, El Sayed. And thank you for your continued support. Do you think we have a better chance of top three than United, Chelsea and Arsenal? I definitely think we do at the moment better than United and Arsenal, but I caveat that with the window's not finished. We don't know what those two teams are going to do. Chelsea, I do think they'll go big in the next month. So I do the other two. Chelsea have just got a lot of experience, but who knows? Who knows, right? We'll see. I think fourth is where my sweet spot is. If we finish fifth, I wouldn't be surprised. If we finish third, I think it would be a bonus. That I don't think that's negative. No, I don't think someone with a golden boot again. I think you've got here he is, the man, the myth, and Arsenal shirtless.
Absolutely, never again.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I popped out for. Haven't seen someone for about 2 years, so we met up and had a bit of food, bit of drink, and
here you are. You look all chilled and refreshed. You've definitely had a month off.
Oh, mate, do you know, there's so many people on YouTube that I've been chatting to since I've been back. And there's a few of them I've just recommended. Take a break. Just take a break.
Mate, I've only been back 12 weeks and I feel like I need a break. Don't worry about that. Let's go. So what I've done is I've asked everyone to get some questions so we can get some questions for Stel. The first question is Captain Cockerel. Stel, do you think a big signing is coming or even any more signings before the window shuts?
Another signing, yes. A big signing. You tell me. No idea.
Let me ask you this, Stel. So if would you consider, by big signing, would you consider the Richarlison signing as a big signing?
Only in terms of monetary value.
Right.
Ndombele was a big signing. Davinson Sanchez was a big signing because the money says it is, but no, I don't. I don't think Richarlison's a big signing. He's not a marquee player for me. No other top 6 club went for him.
So yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, lots of right. Okay, so I've done a thing in the chat, right? I've done a thing where I asked everyone to put yes or no. So I predicted fourth. I think fifth isn't beyond the realms of possibility, but also third would be a bonus. So I've said to everyone, is that a negative prediction? I just wondered, where have you got us finishing at the moment, Stel, as things are? Where have you got us finishing?
With the current squad, I'm going to go with top 4, third or fourth, but it depends on the players Chelsea sign in the next 3-4 weeks.
They're my worry. Just quickly before we come to Chelsea, Ken, I'm guessing you're about to tell me that Spurs are in talks with, who is it you keep telling me we're in talks with? The Newcastle centre half. What's his name? Who's that? Fabian Schär. Is that what you're going to tell me, Ken? You keep coming to my shows telling me we're going to buy Fabian Schär. Look, on a serious note, let's get away from the joking still. Chelsea, are they in as big a mess as everyone's saying they're in? Or is it literally a case of one more centre-back and then a couple of forwards?
Yeah. If they get another centre-back, then they've got cover. The striker department, they've got a big problem. They weren't scoring enough goals towards the end of the season. In the cup finals, they weren't scoring. Nor were Liverpool, but Liverpool were scoring goals in pretty much every other competition. If they do get 2 really good forwards, or Timo Werner suddenly comes to life, then yeah. Then they're not dead and buried the way people are making them out to be. It's people.
Yeah. I mean,
just because a couple of good players have moved on doesn't mean that a club of Chelsea's ilk just falls apart like that.
Yeah. I think this is the key thing for me. Like, when I'm a big fan of breaking things down, right? So I keep hearing that Chelsea are in complete disarray. I've seen in the chat tonight, but obviously tonight wasn't a Spurs chat; it's more football. But I'm guessing we'll move more towards Spurs now. I see Liverpool have had a terrible pre-season. I mean, I don't think Spurs' pre-season was brilliant. I mean, we were awful against Seville. I thought we looked awful first half against Rangers. Chelsea haven't looked great. Arsenal have looked great. By everyone's theory, Arsenal are winning the league and Spurs, Liverpool and Chelsea are terrible. But when I break it down still, yes, Chelsea lost Lukaku, but let's be fair, he wasn't really in their plans. They've lost Christensen and Rudiger. If they replace that with, say, Wesley Fofana and they've already got Koulibaly, are they any weaker this year than last year?
I think people... Sorry, I'm just double-checking something because of something you just said.
Yeah, go on, right.
If people go by pre-season as a barometer, they're asking for trouble because pre-season, we know nothing. Team selections are different. Not all the signings are made. Some players aren't playing because they've got COVID or they're injured. Pre-season is just to get fitness up, and I think I am right. Arsenal lost 2-1 to Brentford today. So are we going to now say Arsenal aren't good enough? Because everyone was praising them for the games they won. They beat Chelsea 4-0. Arsenal's going to win the league. Chelsea. Look at the team Chelsea put out, right? Look at the team. Look at the players in the team we're putting out. You can't judge anything by pre-season. Nothing. It's not a barometer. It's just about fitness.
Do you remember the 2008 pre-season? Now I know that sounds weird. I don't really remember any pre-seasons, but this was we just won the League Cup, and I remember we smashed everybody we played in pre-season like 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. And then from our first 8 league games, we took 2 points on a rock bottom of the table, and Harry Redknapp came in. And I remember at the time, obviously it was kind of pre-Twitter and stuff, but I remember loads of Spurs fans on forums and stuff were like, "Oh my God, we are winning the league, blah, blah, blah." And you can't read into it too much, surely, by results. More about fitness and patterns of play, right? Rather than results.
The difficulty with pre-season is every club has got new players that have come in. So you're trying to integrate those players. You're trying to see where you're going to play them. You're trying to see what players you might have to move to a different position. You're trying to get that early season camaraderie. So the first game, you're together, bang, let's go for it. Let's win that first game. Pre-season is preparation. You're prepping. That's all it is. It's nothing else. The best gauge, and I called it last season. I said everyone got really excited when we won our first 3 games last season.
Yeah.
You said Nuno wasn't good enough. You said it was a mistake bringing him in. And I said to everyone, judge it after 10 games because look at the way we're playing.
Yeah.
This is not sustainable. Man City dominated us. We got a win. At Wolves, we got battered. They just couldn't score. And then against Watford, we got a lucky free kick that no one got in the end of, and it made its way into the goal. Look at the way we're winning. We're not a good team. And then when it all fell apart and Nuno got sacked after 10 games, I said, I told you, just judge it after 10 games. Yeah. And I think the same needs to be said with Spurs and Arsenal and Chelsea. And we know Liverpool and City are going to be good. But the rest, judge it after 10 games. That's the first kind of marker.
Do you know what? Spot on, because there's always a couple of teams as well, isn't there, still, that do really well that you wouldn't think. And people go, oh, God, is this the year that somebody breaks into top 4? Or
like Brentford last season, they started off really well. And then they fell apart.
Blackpool, when they came up, teams like that, they come up, they do really well, and people go, oh, is this the year? Is it going to be a more competitive league this year? Because by all accounts, Stel, I mean, I thought it was really poor league last year. City and Liverpool side, I thought the rest of us were left a lot to be desired. No shit. One kind of wanted fourth.
It was crap. It was
last year. It was. And can you see it being a lot stronger this year?
I'm going to say yes, but only for one reason only. I think that World Cup in the middle of the season, it just throws a curveball. And we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, who gets injured, who has fatigue mid-season. Yeah. And we don't know how that World Cup is then going to impact clubs in the January transfer window. So I think it will be more competitive, but not because Liverpool and City are going to drop off. It's because there's a big disruption in the middle of the season. If you were to say to me, do I think it'll be more or less competitive because teams will close the gap on them out of ability and signings? No, that won't be the reason why. I just think this World Cup is it's very weird because
it is weird.
That Christmas fixture list is so congested. It's so games are coming thick and fast, and you've got the Carabao Cup quarterfinals in there, and there's so much going on. That's just gone now. That's just gone.
Yeah. We'll talk about the World Cup in a minute and some of the other anomalies it throws. Just quickly, people, 15 subscribers away from the big 1,500. I'll be honest with you, when I started this channel 12 weeks ago tomorrow it is, I said to myself, if after 12 weeks I'm at 1,000, I'll be really happy. The fact that I'm 485 ahead of that, I'm really happy. But if you guys tonight, anyone who's not subscribed, could help me get to that 1,500, also go and follow Stel at Tottenham Away. Great channel. Some suspect people on it. Him, Iggy, some really weird people. But but some great content. And if you like seeing an old man that hangs around car parks to talk to men in their cars, Iggy's your guy, right? So he's your guy. He's your guy. And we've had his wife in the chat earlier telling us that he's asleep, so we can say these things. Yeah. I think the key thing is still as well about the World Cup. Normally, one of the kind of traditions of English football is the games coming thick and fast at Christmas. And you always sort of say, don't you, if you can get through that Christmas period and you're in touch, you can go on a run. This year, it's going to be so weird, isn't it? Because imagine you are in blistering form in November, right? You win 3 or 4 games in a row, and then all of a sudden they go, stop, World Cup.
Yeah.
Your best 2 players could get injured, tired, lack of form, come back. It's not the same. I mean, it's a bit unfair, right, having it in the middle of the season.
It's unfair if you're in form, but it's not unfair because everyone's got to deal with the same problem. I'll tell you what is unfair. If you're in a bad rut and it's all falling apart, you suddenly get 5 weeks break to fix it. That's when it's unfair.
Right.
Likewise, a team that's on a good run momentum, it's not fair on them to just kill that for them. The other thing as well, Haaland and Salah aren't going to the World Cup. They are 2 elite players for 2 elite clubs going for everything. Is it fair that they get a 5-week break in the middle of the season?
Yeah.
Whereas Kane and Son don't get that. Whereas Jesus at Arsenal doesn't get that. Where whoever the top players at other clubs are, is it fair on them? No, it's not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've got one more question on that. Before we do, Aram Salah, thank you so much for the donation. 50%, as always, goes to the British Heart Foundation. So thank you very much for that. I know I'm horrible and I'm mean, but I do give money to charity. Stel, question for you. Do you know much about Benjamin Sesko? He looks great. I don't know anything. Do you know this guy?
I've heard of him. He's a Slovenian player. Okay, this is the problem I've got with this player. I don't know him well enough because I haven't watched enough games of him to make up my own opinion. And I don't know the stats on him either. But what I have read of him comes from ITKs. And anyone that knows me, I am not a fan of ITKs. I just can't buy into people that get information from people that they call credible. And so, no, I don't know enough to give you a good answer. That's my honest. I know of him, though. I know of him.
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Aram. Let's look at the positive of having the World Cup then. As much as we can talk about players going away and injuries, etc., it could be a case that some players are injured going into that, right? And it gives them 5 weeks to get fit again. You know, so there is that swings and roundabouts. But for me, still, it just feels really weird that you can be in a momentum, you know, and then all of a sudden, those players, they're going to come back from the World Cup tired, right? Normally, players come back from a World Cup and they have, a month, 6 weeks going to sit on a beach somewhere. This time, they're going to come back and what is it? Bang, 3 or 4 days later, first game. There's going to be some jet lag. There's going to be some fatigue, isn't there?
And adapting to climate change, from going from a very warm climate, they're going to come back to -2 degrees. So that is not good on the muscles. The muscle likes to be in a similar climate, or if you're going to repair the muscle or relax the muscle, you go hot, cold very quickly. I'm talking within minutes. Hot bath, cold bath. Going and living in a warm climate for 5 weeks and then coming to really rapidly cold, that is going to have an impact. Also, psychologically, if you're in a team, let's say, for example, Brazil win the World Cup. Players like Richarlison, any other player, if Emerson goes, I don't know if he's in the Brazilian squad, they might come back with this really fiery energy. Whereas, let's say England get to the World Cup final and lose, Harry Kane's going to be shot to pieces mentally. So you've got psychological impacts as well. And what if your team gets knocked out in the group stages, then you get 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
South Korea,
no, absolutely. Yeah. I think we have to take into account not every team is going the full month, are they? So,
No,
most players will be coming home after a week and a half, 2 weeks. Question for you, Stel, here is from Faz, has said, what is Stel's prediction for us with the current squad, please?
Top 4, 3rd or 4th, but that depends on what Chelsea do. And I'm going to say we'll get to a cup final or a semi-final. I'm not going to say whether we're going to win it or not, because you can bet Liverpool, Man City are going to be there, and they're top clubs. They're top clubs.
Yeah. That leads on to Wow Factor's question for me. Is here, that's Savva, which cup can you see Spurs winning? I like the way you've asked that. Look, I think the two people you've got on this show, we're both old, we're both ugly. Sorry, Stel. We're both old and ugly. We both have had the same opinion for donkey's years. We would love to see a cup. Yeah, I don't buy into that. Oh, would you rather a cup and finish 8th? None of that nonsense. I want top 4 and a cup. However, I'm also realistic enough to know, as Stel just said, we keep saying we're going to win a cup, but Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, these clubs go big. They go big for all of them. Look at Liverpool last year, Man City last year, Chelsea. They're all in all the finals. So it's going to be tough. Look, a cup is a lottery. Yeah, a cup is a lottery. We could get drawn against Man City, third round of the FA Cup, get drawn against Man City away, you're out, right? I'm not saying we definitely lose, but you know what I mean. So it's a lottery. Hopefully we can win a cup. It'd be nice to win the FA Cup. That would be really nice. Yeah, that would be nice. Get any questions? The hottest Spur. I mean, Stel's just done his prediction. But
I'll take that picture of me with the Arsenal kit off. The Hotspur. Are you having a laugh?
I just realised it was you.
Give him a refund. Oh, listen, I'll refund you the £2 myself.
But thank you for the super chat. £1 of that does go to the British Heart Foundation.
All right, no
Jack
refund.
Taylor. Yes, Stel does have a channel. Stel's channel is Tottenham Away. So if you go to YouTube and type in Tottenham Away, you will see this man's face all over all sorts of content.
Yeah,
and their channel's huge. So go over and subscribe. Any questions you've got for me, for Stel, put it in. We will answer anything about football. Okay, keep it football. Luana said Liverpool lost today to Salzburg. The Champions League, Liverpool would have beaten them 5-0, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I think that's the key thing. I keep seeing a lot of people going, Liverpool beat RB Leipzig last week 4 or 5-0. Today they've lost to Salzburg 1-0. Can you read into either of them? I mean, the intensity won't be the same. It's just a hard one, isn't it?
The conversation in the dressing room when you're the manager, when you play a friendly, is I want to see you do this. I want to see you try that. When it's game time, it's a far more serious conversation. And it is, you don't do this, this player's coming on in your place. It's a different conversation. It's a different mentality. There's pressure. There's no pressure in these preseason friendlies. Mm-hmm. What's the pressure? You lose, you play the next friendly. That's it. In the league, there's pressure. You want points. You want to win the title. You want to get top 4.
Yeah. 119 of you in the chat. I don't believe that all 119 of you have subscribed. Please go and subscribe. That's all I ask. It's free. Press a button. It's free. Stel, Man City, Henry and I were just talking about this. Is this Man City's year for the Champions League? It feels like it always is, and then hasn't materialised.
I think it's inevitable. At some stage, Man City will win the Champions League. I know people say they're never going to do it. They're not capable. When you keep going to finals, semi-finals, it's going to drop one day because just like Liverpool, they got to the Europa Cup final, they lost. They got to the FA Cup final, they lost. They got to the Champions League final, they lost. They finished behind Man City by 1 point. They lost the title. And then in the 5th year, they won the Champions League. In the 6th year, they won the Premier League. In the 7th year, they won the double. So it will come eventually. Will it be this year? I don't know. But eventually, a club of that size that spends that money, that buys the players of quality and managers they bring in, it has to happen.
It does, yeah. And I think when we talk about that, I think people talk about winning the Champions League as though it's an easy thing to do, right? They're like, oh, Pep's not won the Champions League with City. But I think once you get that deep into a competition, you know, when you look at the likes of Liverpool, Real Madrid, you know, PSG, Bayern Munich, City, there's no God-given right for Pep Guardiola to win a Champions League. And look, Real Madrid seem to have had the monopoly on this for years. I don't know how they do it. Even when they've got squads that we look at and go, oh, well, it's not the vintage Madrid. They just get it over the line. Let me ask you about.
Do you know what as well? Do you know what is with Man City? I think Pep made a mistake the year they lost to Chelsea. He over-tinkered that squad. If he played the same squad he played against Spurs in the Carabao Cup final when they beat us, if they played that same squad against Chelsea, I think they would have beaten Chelsea in that final.
Yeah.
In terms of last season going out, anyone who watched that game, the first leg against Real Madrid, they had chances to go 4, 5, 6-0 up. Had they done that, it was over. They left the door open for Madrid. They left the door open. And I think it's fine margins. It's fine margins at that level.
Mm-hmm. Couple of questions for you here, Stel. You can take this. I'm not going to take this. I'll get called negative all over the place. I'll let you get called it.
So I'm toxic. Don't worry. I'm toxic.
Samuel Bello has said, why is Conte so poor in Europe? Is he really elite? I mean, that's a can of worms.
He's not poor in Europe. He got to the Europa Cup final with Inter Milan. So he's not poor in Europe. In the Champions League, questions are asked of him. But this is something I've kind of said, and I've said it about Tottenham as well. I don't think Conte can win multiple trophies in the same season. I think what happens is, at some point, a decision, something happens, whether it's being knocked out of a competition or he sniffs blood, and he goes for it. So when he smelt blood for top 4, he went for it and we got it. So he wins league titles, this guy. He wins league titles. I just think that's how he operates.
Mm. Yeah, it does very much seem that he's not an all eggs in the basket man. He's he is an all eggs in one basket man rather than a separate my eggs and hedge my bets. Captain Cockerell.
Well. Like you always say, Savva, you need a squad. You need to
of course
rotate.
You do. Of course you do, but apparently I'm told you only need 11, so we'll see. Captain Cockerell, who's got one of the nicest pictures of all the people who come into my chats, keep posting more, Captain Cockerell. I said, who do you and Stel think we need to sign to take us to that next level? I'll let you go, Stel.
How many are we allowed? I'd sign another 6 or 7.
Right.
I said we needed 12 to 14 players this year and next year combined. So we signed 6. We've got another 7 to go.
Yeah. Who would be? Just give me two realistic names.
Realistic? I think we can buy one of the Inter Milan centre backs, whether it's De Vrij, Bastoni, or Skriniar. I believe that is possible. It's doable. Because Inter Milan need to sell players. So that one of them, if it was down to me, I'd pick Bastoni. Second choice would be Skriniar. Actually, no, De Vrij, because he's the left-sided player. And then we need a top quality creative mid. Who's left that's available? I would take Maddison all day long. Zaniolo is a good player. I really, really like him. My only concern with him is he's had these 2 serious injuries that have kept him out for a long time. And I remember when Michael Owen got those injuries at a young age, it pretty much ended in mid-20s. And I fear that with Zaniolo, because the Premier League is such a demanding league. The physical demands. Are those injuries going to come back?
It's tough, isn't it? I was going to say, God, we're being spammed massively until I realised it was Bob Spur, clearly with nothing better to do than to talk about Stelios in pita bread. Mint sauce. I mean, that's an interesting choice, but okay, mint sauce. Talk to me about, I don't think we've properly had this conversation still about Spence. I don't mind Spence. A lot of our fan base seem to be trying to convince me that he is the best right wing back we could have got across the whole of Europe. And let me get your take on the comments that Conte made for what, I don't know for what reason. He had no need to say it, but he did. That he said it's a club signing but he gave the green light. What did you read into that as a fan?
Listen, I know exactly why he's done it. He's fascinated me. And as I said this earlier on when we were doing Henry Wright's show, I've never ever experienced in my life as a fan having an elite manager at my club. I'm learning. I'm learning things that he does. And the one thing I've learned up here, he's 6 months ahead. He plants seeds for future. I knew we were going to beat Arsenal in the North London derby, and I said it to everyone. And I wouldn't stop talking about it because of what he did with comments in January and in December regarding Arteta. I knew he was planting seeds. He was setting it up. Now, he's doing the same here. He's a very smart guy. He's a very clever operator. That's why I love him. I think he's a brilliant manager. If Spence works out, he'll say, yeah, that's why I gave it the green light. If it doesn't work out, the club wanted him. Yeah, I did say this to you. He's covered his arse. He's covered his back. He's a very clever player. I don't think he said to the club, this is the guy I want at right back. Get me him and him. The club, for whatever reason, have said, look, we want this one. We're going to overrule it. You know, are you on board? And he's probably thought, look, they've got me 5. I'll accept this 1, but I want another 1 or 2 before the window's shut. So something's been agreed, right, for him to give the green light. For sure. He's setting it up to cover his arse. He'll get the praise if it works. He'll blame the club if it doesn't work.
Right. He's very smart because, I mean, so when I've been in multiple chats and people keep asking about Spence, and my answer is always the same. I've got no issue with him being at the club. I just feel like I wanted better and somebody for Spence to learn off, right? Which got me in all sorts of trouble still. You would have thought that I was saying Lionel Messi wasn't very good at football or something. But I just found it really interesting when he came out and he was so specific with his words. It was, he could have just said, yeah, really happy Spencer's here or good signing. But it was, it was a club signing. And the whole green light thing just made me think.
Savva, he didn't just say it was a club signing. These are his exact words. The club wanted him.
Right,
Club signing. The club see it as an investment.
Yep.
He's being very specific with how he's describing this. Yeah. He's clearly saying, look, this isn't my guy, but I'll go with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Party after party has said Spence will only get better, will be a star in a year or two.
How do you know?
I mean, first and foremost, when people say things like that, it is an educated guess or an uneducated guess, whichever way you look at it. But my point on that sentence is always the worry is, that it is a year or two. What if Conte's not here in a year and all those fans that were championing players like Spence, will they be regretting that we didn't give Conte better? That's all I'm asking. That's just the question I'm putting out there. I don't know. Who knows?
I think Spence is either going to be the next Kyle Walker or the next Ryan Sessegnon. It's going to be wow or not again.
But do you know the funny thing about this? Like I keep hearing as well. First of all, a couple of myths I hear. Right, I'm not saying you, but the first myth I hear is, Liverpool went and got Robertson from the Championship. No, they didn't. He had 2 seasons in the Premier League, playing 60-odd games for Hull first. The second one is, we bought Walker, and look how great he was. Yes, but Kyle Walker didn't sign from Sheffield United and start immediately. He was loaned to Villa, QPR, and I keep saying I want to say back to Sheffield United. So my point is, it's a lot of pressure on this young lad's shoulders if he does come in and is first choice, right? It's a lot of pressure. And the thing is, I don't want to put pressure on young players' shoulders, right? But at the same time, all these fans that are telling me this was our number 1 choice right wing back, the pressure is on him, right? Because we are a Champions League club.
My brother, who he's a Spurs fan, he coaches with me as well. He's younger. He watches a lot of these players, right? He actually watches these games that these players play in. I don't have the time for it. And what he said to me was, if we sign Spence, he's going to be back up to Doherty, and he thinks that Doherty's going to be our number 1, and Spence will be number 2. And you know what, Savva? I'm beginning to think that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And that worries me a bit, because Doherty is not the level that this club needs to be. I hope I'm proven badly wrong. I really am.
But what do you read into this then, still? Because Doherty's not been getting many minutes, and he seems to keep trying every game now. This Lucas Moura right wing back. I mean, ideally I want to act like a big club. I don't want to shoehorn a failed winger into a right wing back. But I mean, we've now got Royal, Spence, Doherty, and Lucas being kind of shafted into that position. One of them's got to go, right? Surely one of them's going to go.
Two of them need to go, Savva. Two. We can't.
You think two will?
How can 12% of the squad be made up of right backs?
Hang on, Gareth Southgate loves that.
In fact, what's 4 out of 25? What's that? It's more than 12%. It's almost 20%. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, Gareth Southgate. What's he win? Nothing. Great. I don't know. And none of them stand out. That's the concern for me. None of them stand out. None of them say, yeah, wow. I think Spence has got a better chance of doing well than what he has of not doing well, only because he's got the physicality for that position. He can beat a man, and he does go in quick into that tackle. So I think the probability of him turning out to be really good is higher than him turning out to be a flop. But again, it's not proven. This is the thing. It's not proven.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out. By the way, Brian Murphy, I think Florian Wirtz at Leverkusen is a fantastically talented player. If I'm not wrong, didn't he get a really bad injury towards the end of last season? I'm pretty sure he did. Messi is not good at football. He's excellent. That's it. Yeah, I was just being a bit sarcastic. Party after party has said, Savva, this is the best transfer window I've seen in all my years of watching. Spurs, 8 out of 10. Look, at the risk of sounding toxic, this isn't the best window I've seen at all. There was a window, God, I'm going back years now, where I believe in the same window, I think we signed like Hugo Lloris, Moussa Dembele, Vertonghen. I'm pretty sure there was 3 or 4 of the. I'm trying to find it whilst trying to not be unsociable. But I'm pretty sure there was a window that was much better than this. Stel, can a window be 8 out of 10 when all the deadwood hasn't gone, and when we haven't solved centre back, wing back, or any creativity? Can that be considered an 8 out of 10 when all factors are factored in?
The problem here is we're used to such mediocre transfer windows, such substandard windows, that anything that resembles better than what we're used to automatically becomes the best transfer window I've seen. Right. This should be minimum expectation transfer windows for a club that wants to be at the highest level. So I don't give it an 8 out of 10 as it stands. I give it a 6, maybe push to a 7. I'm not convinced by all the signings, but then who am I to be the deciding kind of judge on that? There's way too many players at this club that how they're still here is beyond me. How they still have an opportunity to play for this club in this season is beyond me. But before I had my break, I said that I will judge the transfer window the day before the season starts, and then I'll judge it again once the window closes. So at the moment, I'm not judging it.
So I have been listening. I'm just looking. In the 2012-13 window, these 6 all arrived. Now, for me, these 6 are a better window. Moussa Dembele, Hugo Lloris, Jan Vertonghen, Adebayor, Dempsey, and Sigurdsson. Right? Now, if I go fast forward a couple of years, if I go to...
That's close.
If I go to, and where are we? Departures. Arrivals. No. Where are we? Arrivals. Sorry, God, we've signed some crap. Arrivals in 15-16. Hong-Min Son, Toby Alderweireld, Kieran, Trippier, all in one window. So I,
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
at the moment, when people say this is the best transfer window, I'm still looking at it as Basuma, great. Perisic, great. Spence, unknown. Forster, a backup keeper. Longley, by all accounts, hit and miss. And Richarlison, again, another one that we don't know. So when people saying this is the best transfer window, I'm not. Sorry, that's just me. I'm just going to say it still. For me, it's nowhere near.
It depends how old Partey after Partey is. If he's like 16, 17, then he might have a point. If he's late 20s, 30s, then it's better than what we used to. It's better than what we used to. That's how I'd look at it.
It is. I mean, for me, look, we'll come back to that in a second. Just quickly, Jack wants to go to the training ground and get some photos and stuff. He said, "Do you know when we're next training at Hotspur Way?"
Jack, do this. Go to the Tottenham Away Twitter account, DM me, and the next time I get invited in, because I take my club there, I'll get you in as a coach. We'll just pretend you're one of the coaches, and you can do a proper tour and watch people train and stuff. All right, mate?
There you go, Jack. Good lad is Jack as well. So going back to that, I think the key thing for me, though, is when people talk about transfer windows, we do forget that it's outgoings as well which decide how good a window has been. Yeah. And at the moment, still, if at the beginning of the window I had said, who needs to go? You're talking Bergwijn, tick. You're talking Reguilon, still here. Ndombele, still here. Lo Celso, still here. Reggie's still here. Right? Rodon's still here.
Tanganga, Sanchez.
Sanchez, right.
Sessegnon, Moura.
So look, I'm not being, I'm not, right, there we go. I knew it's all up there. It's all up there, Brian. It's up there. I'm not being negative when I say that. I feel I have to caveat everything. I'm not being negative, but it's ins and outs. And I think a lot of people, I asked this question when you jumped off the stream earlier, after we finished filming earlier. I was in the back with, I was around the back with Iggy and Kuva. And I said to them, let me ask you boys a question. I said, just playing devil's advocate, taking my Spurs hat off. If Arsenal, right, and hear me out, Stell, if Arsenal had this transfer window with these 6 signings we'd have, I guarantee you that our fans would have found a reason why it's not a great transfer window. It would have been, Spence is from the Championship, Forster's just a sub-goalkeeper, Longley from Barcelona, he's been crap for 2 years, Richarlison from Everton. And that's the difference, I think, Stell, is that when it's for your own club, I feel that the signings get magnified a bit more to be better.
What's kind of swayed a lot of fans as well is that Bissouma, Richarlison, and Spence were all players. Big YouTube accounts like Arsenal Fan TV, they were talking about those players and making videos of them coming to Arsenal. So because the fans wanted those players and we, the club, ended up buying what their fans were talking about, that's kind of boosted how we feel. But their fans aren't a barometer or a judge of what's best.
Absolutely.
I think I mean, this signing of Fraser Forrester, it's an average backup goalie. I don't get excited by that.
Just quickly.
Longley's good, but he was gone.
Sorry, I just really want to say quickly, the hottest Spur, I think this is the point I'm alluding to, my friend. When we're saying, did we know Son was that good then? And then you've said it's hindsight. That's my point. When people are saying now, this is the best transfer window we've had, how do we know? Because we haven't kicked a ball yet, right?
He's got a point.
We haven't kicked a ball yet. So if people are telling me this is the best window we've had, but I'm not allowed to use hindsight to prove a window that did happen, then doesn't it work both ways? Like, I'm not saying this is a bad window, the hottest Spur, at all. All I'm saying is there's 2 dead certs for me, one of which is, 2 years away from retiring. And the other 4 for me, there is a jury out. There's not a jury out on Fraser Forster. It is what it is. But Spence, there's got to be a jury out because he's never played Premier League. There's got to be a jury out on Richarlison because he was the top guy at a really poor side. How does he come in now and compete with 3 other top forwards? Does he play the same way? Can he link up with them? Yeah, there's got to be something. Listen, I like Longley. I don't think Longley's bad, but does Longley settle in straight away? Is he coming with confidence? All this kind of stuff. So I think we've got to take it on both merits, right, Still?
I was listening to you. I just can't get over him using that photo of me as an Arsenal fan. I'm trying not to be distracted by I keep looking at it. I'm like, look, you're spot on. We don't know how good this window is until the season really goes. So for fans to say this is brilliant, these players are brilliant, you don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We're all just kind of guessing what we think is going to happen.
Right.
The truth is, we're going to find out by the end of the season. That's the truth. But to say that it is good now, how?
Yeah. Jack Taylor has said, Savva and Stell, do you think we should sell Winks?
Yes. Next.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised he's not gone yet?
No, because who wants to buy him?
But by the way, just
if we want 20 million, he's not going. If we sell him for 10 million, someone will buy him. But Levy wants 20 million, doesn't he? So
yeah. Just quickly, Paul Pablo. I hope this is tongue in cheek. And when you say we have kicked a ball, we've played 3 games in which Perisic has played 20 minutes of those 3 games. Spencer's played 20 minutes. I think Longley's played 20 minutes.
Spencer, yeah.
The H has said the Hotspur. Yes, we did know Summer's quality. We tried signing the season before.
But we also tried to. Sorry, just to jump on that. The academy tried to sign Sessegnon and his brother when they were 10 years old, but they chose to go Fulham. So just because you wanted to buy a player doesn't mean when you do get them, if you get them, they're going to be good.
I'm not allowed to talk about Sessegnon. This subject gets me in more trouble with the fan base than any other. I just think he's dreadful.
He hasn't got the confidence. He hasn't adapted to Premier League football. He doesn't create enough. The only thing he does, he's a bit of a Ben Davies. He does as he's told, which is good. But any player with discipline will do as they're told. But can you then impact a game? Can you change the direction of a game? No, he can't. He doesn't have impact.
Agreed.
We need players that can have impact.
Faz has said, Savastel, if you can buy one more player, who would you go for realistically? Just one?
Well, it's either a centre-back or an attacking mid. I would probably go centre-back, only because worst case, Kane can drop into that role. Kulu maybe. There's a bit of option. Not that I think the options are good enough, but we can mix it up. I think if Romero gets injured, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. So I would get a top draw centre back. Any of the back 3 at Inter right now. De Vrij, Skriniar. The one I really, really wanted, the one I badly wanted was Bremer, but we didn't do anything about it. And now he's gone to Juve.
Yeah, he's gone to Juve. Yeah. Paul Pablo has said, I'm sorry. You don't have to apologise, Paul. It's your opinion. But I'm sorry. Richarlison's link-up was never great at Everton. Seen him 3 times. He's not ready for me. It's an interesting one, isn't it, Stell? Because
he's a marquee signing, Paul. He's a marquee signing, mate.
He at the moment he's our marquee signing. But I'll be honest, I've never ever. I said to Henry earlier, for me, he's the scorer of great goals, Stell, not a great goal scorer. So I've seen him score some wonderful goals, but I don't feel like he's a prolific marksman. But I don't know why. He could turn out to be the best thing ever still. There's just something about him which doesn't make me go, cool, yeah.
I'll tell you what. I spoke to my mate Shami. So if you're watching Shami, big up. He's a massive Everton fan. I played football with him when we were young. He's one of the best football players I've played with. And he knows football so well. I always said to him, how you never became a coach is beyond me, because you would have been brilliant at it. And when I asked him about Richarlison, this is what he said about Richarlison to me. He said, he's the most frustrating player and he's going to frustrate the hell out of you. But do not underestimate what a nuisance he is, the way he shuts players down, his work rate. And if it wasn't for him, we would have got relegated. Is he a player that is elite? Is he a player that's going to get you on the edge of your seat? Is he a player that you're going to be like, come on, go on? Oh. No, he's not. But don't underestimate what he can bring to the team, but be prepared to be frustrated a lot with him. And that's how he described him. So make of it what you want. But that's if people think he's going to come in and be a direct replacement for what Son and Kane do if they get injured, no.
Right.
He won't. Has he got it in him to impact outcomes? Yes, he has, but he's also got the ability to come on and not do it. So
agreed. Just quickly, I've got a super chat here from Party After Party, who has said Spurs, the 22-23 FA Cup winners. Thank you, Conte. Party After Party, I speak on behalf of all Spurs fans where I say I really hope that is the case. I'm going to go for another 10 to 15 minutes, people. So get any questions in. We are now 13 subscribers away from the 1,500. If there are 13 of you of the 124 still watching, please just go over and subscribe. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Here you go. Under David Gold and David Sullivan's ownership, West Ham have signed 50 strikers. 20 of them have failed to score a single goal. And I thought our recruitment was bad. Well, that's a good stat to know, isn't it? In terms of Richarlison, we were talking earlier about how many goals we think he'll get in the Premier League. It's a tough one for me still, because
it's game time.
Again, is he, as you said just then, is he going to be the guy that if Kane gets injured, he plays through the middle? Will he go out wide and Son goes through? Do you know what I mean? I said I think he'll get maybe 8 to 10, 9 to 11, something like that. What would be a good return for you for Richarlison in season 1?
The problem is the price tag puts a lot of weight on his shoulders. When you spend 60 million, you expect someone that's going to score 20 goals.
Right.
Arsenal paid 50 million for Aubameyang. Look how many goals he got him. You know, they also paid 50 million for Lacazette, and that he hardly scored. So have we potentially bought an Aubameyang, or have we potentially bought a Lacazette? You know, Savva, I don't know. Like this is one of the players like Spence, where I don't know. I can't say they're a crap signing, but I'm not going to sit here and say brilliant.
Yeah. It's tough, isn't it?
We're going to find out.
Bob Spur has said, totally agree regarding Cess. We only have one good wing back at the club, and it's a 33-year-old on a free.
It's not far wrong.
He's not. He's not. And I think for me, look, I don't ever believe that you're going to have two players in the same position that are as good as each other. But for me, and this is where I get called toxic, right, is I just feel the drop-off from Perisic to Sessegnon is so wide. You know, it's not like somebody's coming in who's a little bit less good. You know, it's not like Chelsea going from Chilwell to Alonso, you know, where you go, okay, he's not as good, but still a very good player. The drop-off is huge for me, and in a position where everyone keeps telling me that's our creativity. So if Perisic was to touch wood, right? If Perisic was to get injured, you're now left with Sessegnon and Spence as your wing backs for a season. It worries me. Does it worry you?
Yes. Yeah, massively. This is why I'm not on this. We're going to win the league train, and we're gonna win trophies. I personally feel, and I hope I'm wrong, and I often get this wrong, so that's a good sign. I think what we've done with the players we've bought and the current squad we've got, we have secured top 4 next season again. I think we've built a top 4 side. Mm-hmm. When it comes to trophies, there's so many variables, so many unknowns. I personally think Reguilon is better than Cesc. For me, Reguilon is ahead of Cesc, because at least Reguilon can cross a ball.
Right. Do you think then that the Reguilon Sessegnon thing is purely down to nationality?
I think it's down to the fact Reggie last season was awful. He had a bad season, Reggie. Mm-hmm. And we had to change. Something had to change in that position. And if Cesc is your only option, then Cesc plays, right? And that's what happened.
Do you want to?
We don't have the options, the good enough options at the moment.
All right. Do you want to respond to your mate Aaron on this?
Still got to call you out on this one. I was anti-Cess, and you said he had potential in a live stream. Wills, I think a year ago. Yeah, a year ago he did. Any player that comes to Spurs has got potential. Emerson had potential, but then once I see them play for Spurs, then you can make a proper judgment. But look, at the time when we got Cess, he didn't play. He went out on loan. Then he got injured. I think it was Hoffenheim. Then he came back and he didn't play for anyone. So, for me, the potential was there. And watching him, what he did for Fulham in the Premier League, I saw enough to say, look, there's potential. But then after watching him actually play properly for Spurs last year, I'm like, no. It's you know, if I said to you, Aaron, he's a top player, he's brilliant, and then I said what I said, then yeah, look, you can call me out and I'll have to wear another Arsenal shirt or something, I don't know. But to say someone's got potential, look, I'll tell you now, Aaron, Spence has got potential. Spence has got potential. That doesn't mean he's going to turn out to be good or bad. I'll tell you at the end of next season what I think of Spence.
Here's an interesting one. Jimmy Costco.
Big up Aaron, by the way. Big up Aaron. He's a good lad.
He is. I like Aaron. Jimmy Costco said, Son is also very frustrating. I'm not sure what that was in relation to, but did you think Son's frustrating?
He won the Golden Boot. I think, no. He scored goals. We needed someone to score goals. He got us. He is a big reason why we got top 4 last year. So,
Ron has said, Stel, who is our impact players then? I don't see any no Bozy show up when it matters the most. Nobody show up when it matters the most. I think that might be Stel's point, that we don't have enough impact players, right? That
I don't think Spurs have ever had a problem in a top 4 race getting top 4. Most of the times we get it. We did it under Poch, and we've done it under Conte, right? We did it under Redknapp. I think in a top 4 race, Spurs are capable. When it comes to a cup final, a semi-final, that's what I mean when I say, right, now it matters. Because for me, I'm about silverware. I'd rather have a cup than top 4. When the silverware's on the line, we just go to shit, man. We just go to shit.
Yeah. Sorry about the trolls. I think somebody has, one of my mods has already got rid of them, but I'm just seeing them a bit later. Usnar has said, now I keep seeing this.
What's he done for us to like him?
Right.
Not to like him, but what's he done for us to say, come on, Cess, yeah, this is a really, really good player we got here. What's he done to justify praising him highly? Here
you go, Stel. So this is part of a 3 or 4 chain. So bear with me. Now, this is what I always get asked. This is what I always get asked about Sessegnon, is I get told that he was brilliant towards the back end of last season. So Usnar has said, everyone harsh on Cess, should have seen him at 18 in the Championship, got amazing potential, needs a good run of games. We saw his quality towards the end of the season when he did get a run of games. Now, Usnar, let me respond to all of that. So I don't think I'm harsh on Cess. I support Tottenham Hotspur, and he's just simply not good enough, right? I think if the aspiration is to get better, then you've got to get better players. Second of all, the should have seen him at 18. You could pick if Stella and I sat here for 3 or 4 hours
in the Championship.
We could find 200-300 players from the Premier League era where you went, oh, at 18 they were amazing. By 22, meh. Right? That's life. Now, what you do in the Championship is a completely different ball game to what you do in the Premier League. Now, first of all, when he played in the Championship and had that good season, he was playing wide of a front 3, not as a left back or left wing back. Now, when you say we saw his quality towards the end of the season when he did get a run of games, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree. I didn't see the quality. He's just not for me. He's not the level I expect.
The end of the season against relegated Burnley and relegated Norwich.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right.
To say to that person as well, at the age of 18 and 19, Dele Alli was the bomb. By the age of 24, and onwards, he's absolutely gone to crap. Gone to crap.
Do you know what I know? So I used to coach, right, for Premier League clubs, but that's a whole different story. So I know quite a lot of people around the circuit. And off the back of this, the reason I tell you that is Paul Pablo said, I have a Fulham fan, mate. He goes every week, told me when we bought Sessegnon, he's not going to make it. Now, my mate who worked at Fulham at the time, he doesn't anymore. He now works for Chelsea, funny enough. He turned around and said to me, first of all, you're getting the worst brother, right? And he said, second of all, he's not that good. He said his goals have overshadowed his lack of ability elsewhere. Now, I didn't really know a lot about him at the time, but from what I've seen at this level, I don't think his passing's good. He can't beat a man. His crossing is poor, and he always seems to be out of position. So for me, I'm entitled to believe what I heard. But again, I've got nothing against him as a human being, right? It's just levels.
Two things on Ryan Sessegnon. Number one, when we signed him, I remember listening to Talk Sport, and
Yes.
Danny Murphy, ex Spurs, he said, I think Ryan Sessegnon going to Spurs is the wrong move for Sessegnon. I don't think this is the right play.
Yeah.
And he's proven to be right so far. And secondly, when it wasn't quite working for him and he was going on loan, I spoke to my guy at Spurs in the training at Hotspur Way, and I said to him, "What's going on with Sess?" And he said to me, "If we got him when we wanted him at 10, he would have been the player we needed now."
Right.
But those 8-9 years at Fulham, the technical development that he has not had the way we would have done it, he's not the player. So I said to him, "So why have we spent £30 million on him?" And his response to me was, "The club buys who the club wants to buy," which is code for speak to Levy.
Right. So,
and whoever told Levy, right? So
this,
I know the coaches at Spurs look at Sess and know technically he's not the player they saw when he was 10, 11 years old.
I find this interesting, right? So if I look at this little thread of comments from various people, you've got Usman saying like Reguilon better than Sessegnon.
Reguilon won the Europa Cup for Seville. He was one of the players.
He's saying I've heard it all
at the time.
Right. Justin said Reggie better than Sess, but that isn't saying a lot, which I agree.
Yeah,
and then Usnart. Now, Usnart, can I ask in a respectful way? If I say this, it sounds like I'm belittling, but I would like to know how old you are, because if you think Serge Reguilon is one of the worst fullbacks in Spurs history, you can't have supported long.
Have you seen Emerson Royal?
There are two Spurs fullbacks in this current squad worse than him. And that is Sessegnon and Royal. Now, if we really want to break this down, for the jobs they had to do last year, Reguilon had 5 goal contributions, Sessegnon had 2. Now, I'm not all by the stats, but Reguilon for me is a much better footballer than Sessegnon. I don't think he's great, but I think he's much better than Sess. Look, we won't get into a Reggie. Party after party say Reggie is not a wing back but a full back, not played in the right role. Still, let me ask you this. I keep hearing this about, but someone says a right back, not a wing back. For me, top players will adapt, right? You're only asking them to play 10 yards further up the pitch, right? I'm not asking anyone converting from right back to right wing back to be amazing, but the basics don't change. Controlling the football, passing, positioning, it doesn't change. And that's the thing for me.
I think a lot of it is psychological as well. Are you able to adapt mentally? And what I mean by that is, if you've got a player that is good at defending, they're good at tracking back, they're good at tackling, they're good at reading the game and knowing where to position themselves, then if you suddenly say to them to play higher up and be more attacking, that might take them out of their comfort zone they're not particularly happy with. Yet if you keep them as just a right back or a left back, they're happier there and they put in a better performance. So it depends on the player. Whereas Gareth Bale, who was scouted as a left back at Southampton, he turned out to be one of the best left wingers in world football for a decade. So it depends on the player. It comes down to Harry Kane can adapt to multiple positions. Heung-min Son can't. Heung-min Son can't. He can't adapt like Kane. So it depends on the player. Doesn't mean they're crap players.
Can we call this for what it
adapt.
is, Stel? Can we call this for what it is?
Yeah.
Neither of them are good enough, right? Let's be fair. If we've got aspirations to be a top 4 team,
they're not.
Look at the fullbacks and wingbacks that play in the 3 teams immediately above us. James, Alexander-Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Reece James, Chilwell, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, City, name whoever you want.
Cancelo.
Right, Cancelo, Walker. They're going to get Cucurella. Ake can play there. Look, this is the thing.
I agree.
When people are, I hate this phrase, but when it's gassing up, when we're gassing up players like Sessegnon, I always ask this: would any other top half team take Ryan Sessegnon? Think about the top half.
Never.
Would he get into West Ham's team?
Top half, maybe. Top
Okay,
6, no way. No chance.
I'll tell you what we'll do then. Let's have a look at this. Right, this is the top half from last season. Right, You tell me. Does he start for Man City?
None of the top 4. None of the top
Right, okay. Does he start for Arsenal above Tierney?
No.
Right. Does he start for Man United above Shaw or Dalot?
No.
Shaw's not great, but he's better than Sessegnon.
He doesn't.
Does he start ahead of Cresswell for West Ham?
No.
Right. Does he start ahead any of the Leicester left backs? James Justin, Castagna, any of them?
Justin, maybe. Castagna, no way. Castagna's a good player.
Oh, mate, I like Justin.
In fact, Castagna's would have been a good signing for us.
Does he start above Cucurella at Brighton?
Never.
Right.
He's going Man City. That's how good he is.
So here we go. I can keep going. At Wolves, does he start above Ait Nouri, who I think is a very good player?
Do you know what? When you actually break it down, he probably is a bottom 5 team player.
Right. Here we go. So now we're at 10th. Does he start above Matt Targett at Newcastle?
No.
Does he start above Tyreek Mitchell of Crystal Palace?
I don't know that player well enough to know. I don't know.
Does he start? Well, he got in the England squad last year. Does he start above Rico Henry of Brentford?
Nah.
Does he start above who plays left back for Southampton was Carl Walker-Peters most of last season?
Carl Walker-Peters is a right back.
Yeah, but they played Livramento at right back and played Walker-Peters left most of the time. But look, you get the point still. The point is, you go down the league.
Yeah. Listen. As soon as you started, once we got to 10th, I realised he's probably a bottom. He's probably a bottom 5 Premier League level player, and that's what he was at Fulham, wasn't he? That's what he was at Fulham, a bottom 5 Premier League player.
Yeah, he was. Brian Murphy has said worst left back ever has to go to Ben Thatcher.
Is that me?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. No, you cut out. It's okay. It's back now. It's back.
I can think of worse left backs than Ben Thatcher, Brian Murphy. I can think of Paolo Tramezzani comes to mind straight away. We've had some shockers. Stel, I'm going to...
At the end of the day, I think what Spurs fans need to do is this. When we were a good team, a team that could genuinely challenge for the league title, a team that was knocking on the door of Champions League, Danny Rose, Carl Walker. If we don't have at least that level, then there is a problem. That is the benchmark. If we don't have Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, there's a problem. Romero is that level. The others are not. They simply are not. Maybe Longley might. So when you look at the back line, and we had the best defensive record in Europe for 2 years, in Europe. So if you haven't got that level, we're just kidding ourselves, man. It's like, why are we kidding ourselves?
I think that's it. Look, I've always said that we're going to go in a couple of minutes if that's all right. By the way, I've been going for 3 hours and I'm absolutely flagging. But I've always said, Stel, and you know this, that I feel there's a huge contradiction between the players that fans like and them crying out for success. For me, you can't turn around and say we want to be successful, we want trophies, but then turn around and argue the case that Sessegnon's good enough for Tottenham Hotspur, because top clubs wouldn't do that. If Ryan Sessegnon was at Tottenham, was at Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, they would have bought him. After a year, he'd be gone. He would have been gone a long time ago. Spurs, we seem to hold on to these players for ages, and our fans seem to really, the sentiment. Maybe I'm heartless. I don't have that sentiment for footballers. Still, I don't look at Sessegnon and go, "Oh, he's young, give him time." I look at him and go, "We spent 30 million on nearly 4 years ago, and he's done nothing for the club, and he's not that good."
Savva, I couldn't give a shit about finances. I couldn't give a crap about projects. I couldn't give about emotional attachment. I couldn't give a goddamn about, oh, give it a chance. I want trophies. I've been saying this for 2 years. Ever since I started YouTube, I want trophies. 21 years I've had to endure this ownership. I'm not saying that Alan Sugar ownership was amazing, but this fan base has got to get it into its head. You cannot call yourself a top 6 club and win the lowest level trophy in 2 decades. You are not a top 6 club. We are the only club that got invited to join that European Super League on the grounds of finances. Every other club went there on trophies won. It's insane. Anyone who dismisses trophies as not being the ultimate barometer and the ultimate way we define our club. And when we're not winning the trophies, I don't care about projects anymore. I did the project with Pochettino. I don't care about the wheeler dealer maverick manager. I did that with Redknapp. I don't care about the past. I care about now. And if these players can't win trophies, get them out. Get them out.
Still, that
I can't say any more about losing my mind. I've already lost my hair over it.
If ever a comment summed up our lack of success, look at that.
I'm 19 and can barely remember the League Cup final.
19-year-olds that have seen us win a League Cup and can barely remember it. Now, you and I were around in the 90s. I mean, I also saw some of the late 80 Cup wins as well. But look, this is a conversation for another day. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just think at elite level of sport, when you're charging what we charge, building stadiums like your stadium, you want the best players and you want to win things.
Without coming across harsh, if we weren't a so-called top 6 club, if we weren't a club that wasn't in that higher level of winning trophies, which we once were, we were in that top 5 bracket at one point. If we weren't a club that had the record for most FA Cup wins, if we weren't a club that had an expectation and didn't have comments from managers like Bill Nick saying we aim so high, and if we weren't that club, I'd get it. I'd get this trophy argument. But we are that club.
Yeah, I know.
And fans are just dismissing that we were that club now and using any excuse possible. Give it a chance. Things take time. We don't have oil money. We can't match that club. These excuses have allowed our fan base to accept not winning trophies is okay. It's not okay, guys. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We are Tottenham Hotspur, and we just dismiss winning trophies now. That's why we don't win them. It's the mindset of the club. We as fans, the mindset has to be we demand trophies. We demand to be winning them.
I'm going to say one last thing before I shut off. The worst thing I hate hearing from Tottenham fans is this. Would you rather finish 8th and win a cup or get top 4? Because I'll tell you what I don't like about that sentence alone, Stel, is for people that get called negative like me and you, what a negative statement that is to say that if we were to win a cup, it means our league form for a 5 or 6 game cup run has to be so bad that we drop from 4th to 8th. That argument is the weakest argument I've ever heard, and people use it to justify themselves. But I've really got to go. I am up in about 5 hours. I'm shattered. Stel, it's been a pleasure. You're going first game of the season, right?
Yeah.
Beers, good times. Good times,
singing, bring it on.
Right, guys, first of all, thank you everyone in the chat. It's been a real blast. We did about an hour and a half, hour and 45 talking about European football, this, that, the other. We've then gone back on Spurs. Thanks for your super chats. I really do appreciate the support. And I am 10 away from 1,500. So if you haven't, please, when this finishes, subscribe, Stel, thanks for jumping on, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.